Here we are. We are indeed back once again with the ill behaviour. Anyway, I was mid-rant. Yeah, I know. Of course it looks cool. Do you know why? Because I make it look cool, motherfucker. I mean, statues are, like I said, these are things that, you know. But again, they're turned into something like, it's like, they say like it's erasing history. I'm like, no, it fucking ain't. What do you need a statue? Do you know what? Have you ever been to Germany? Do you know who they've got no statues of in Germany? Right, Hitler. Right. You know? Right. I'm pretty sure people, but you know, fucking hell, you know, it's like. I think up until very recently, you know, it was illegal not only to fucking have a swastika to have a display a swastika. You couldn't if you couldn't. It was illegal to do a Zig Heil. It was illegal to own it. You know, Mein Kampf couldn't be sold. You know, yeah. Again, it's just political. Well, you know, it's a way of. You know, it is a way of framing anything that whenever the left, you know, these talk about freedom of speech. Whenever people on the left invoke their right to free speech, it's always framed as lecturing or silencing or attempting to cancel or destroy or to bully, you know, whatever, you know. Oh, for fuck's sake. Have I ever seen South Park? Of course I've fucking seen South Park. Dude, I was there when it started. You know? Yeah. I mean, there is. I mean, Doug. I will say this: there are elements. There are people who are like the younger generation, people in their mid-20s, you know, or whatever, who will sit there and slag off something like South Park or you know, or Eminem is another one. And I'm like, no, it's like you weren't there. You know, it's like, is Eminem as good now? Oh, you know, that doesn't matter. Do you know why? Because Eminem did enough when he fucking came onto the scene. Like, he was like, you know, it's like, if you weren't there, you won't appreciate it. And you can look back and 20 years ago, if you're going to look back at his lyrics, then you are really fucking missing the point, because you're not fucking understanding, you know. You know, but people forget, you know, and I've said this before, it's like people talk about, oh, you know, it's political correctness nowadays. People forget, like, Life of Brian when it came out was banned. I mean, Life of Brian. Can you imagine Life of Brian being banned today because it's blasphemous? Derek and Clive was fucking, copies of Derek and Clive albums. Peter Conduct was recalled from, confiscated by police from certain shops. Hell, in the 1950s, you couldn't show Elvis from the waist down. On television. He was too sexy. His move, his pelvic thrusting was too fucking obscene in the 1950s. And here's the thing at the end, and this is what annoys me as much. It's like you can if you're going to sit there and go on about the free market and freedom of speech, then you cannot fucking moan about cancel culture, because that's all the cancel culture actually is. Because if an artist, a comedian, a singer, an actor, a writer, whatever, who I have supported and whose work I have paid for, if they suddenly start expressing views that I find distasteful and and quite frankly unacceptable, then I have a right as a consumer to say I'm not fucking buying their stuff anymore. And if I do fucking listen to anything new they done, I'm gonna download it fucking for free somewhere. I'm gonna get a torrent of it. I have a right to do that, and I have a right to say I think you're fucking out of order here. And that's it. The only difference is when you've got a celebrity thing, it's like there's only one celebrity, and the more popular they are, the more people there are going to be. But it's portrayed as this kind of like conspiracy. It's like nobody's forcing anybody to do anything here. I have the right to fucking decide which artists and which people, which content creators do I want to give my money to, or do I want to be seen, And I've got no problem fucking admitting to enjoying, I'm a fucking Morrissey fan, for God's sake. And I will sit here, and fucking, and that ain't gonna fucking change. And he's a fucking ignorant, racist piece of shit. But guess, I saw this article in the, in this op-ed article in Metro, and it was someone saying that once you discover that your favourite artist is racist or whatever, you need to let them go along with everything they've done. And I'm like, no, that's fucking stupid. That's going too far. You don't let it go. Why? Why should you ignore the total? Why should someone be defined by just one aspect of their character? Why can't we learn to understand that that's human nature? Human beings can be two fucking things at the same time. They can be ignorant and hateful and bigoted, but they can also be brilliant and creative and ingenious at the same time. And we've got to fucking deal with this. You can't just sit here and I'm not going to sit here and go, I'm not going to do, it's like that's the same, just as bad as doing what the people who want to ignore, all the bad shit that people do, And how do we know what, And how do we know? And what about people who have bigoted views, but we never find out about it? So it's okay to listen to their shit because we never caught them? I grew up reading the books and the stories of Roald Dahl, and now and I didn't know at the time because I wouldn't. Why the fuck would I? But he's a horrific fucking anti-Semite. He's a horrifically bigoted, fucking ignorant old cunt. But that doesn't fucking take away from the fact that Matilda and James and the Giant Peach and the BFG and George's Marvelous Medicine and all these other and the witches and all these other, were books that I read that defined my childhood. I can't let that go. I can't change that. Hmm? Where the fucking hell is my lighter? Where have I put the fucking thing? I've been sat here with this cigarette in my bastard cocking fucking wanking shitting arse in mouth. Yeah. And let me ask her, let's say for argument's sake, imagine if Hitler was actually a bloody good painter. As well as being, fascist dictator and genocidal mass murdering fucking Looney Tune. Are you telling me if you could get up, if you'd fucking grab one of his paintings, you wouldn't go, oh, I've got that, I'm having that motherfucker. I ain't going to display it, I'm just saying I got it, No, it's just one of those things that's used to light fucking hobs and grills. It's just these things, I'm always losing my lighters, I mean, it's like, and some of it sort of slips by the wayside. It's weird because it's like Passion of the Christ. No one said anything. Do you know what? Do you know where Passion of the Christ started? So Passion of the Christ started as a piece of anti-Semitic fucking, it was a piece of anti-Semitic fucking street theatre, is where it originates from. It was actually a piece of street theatre that was used to deliberately stir up anti-Semitic fucking hatred, and then it coincidentally gets made by Mel Gibson. Yeah, but hold on. Yeah, people have if I have the right to tell you I don't think you should listen to it. But guess what? You have you have the ability to say, oh, I'm going to. I tell people that, people tell me people say this, oh, is this cancelled, is that cancelled? It's like, I could give a fuck what you think. I'll listen to what the fuck I want. I don't give a shit. Yeah. My conscience is fucking clear. I've got no problem listening to fucking, listening to songs by fucking awful people. And or watching films with fucking, but guess what? That's part of free speech as well, mate. Is telling people is I don't do it, but guess what? People can fucking do it, but it's not a fucking You can still fucking people should fucking have a little bit more, be a bit more assertive. It's like recently, Sia got into a load of trouble. Now, I the whole thing's an argument I'm not going to get involved in because it's not my fucking fight, and I felt she dealt with it badly. But guess what? I love Sia, and and I'm not going to stop listening to her just because she pissed off a load of people. I don't that's my fucking But people have always done that. People have always fucking gone round. There's always been people trying to police or trying to tell people, Why do you think with Cardi B and WAP? Why do you think that all of the the cries and outrage, and the calls to literally and the use, what is effectively people on the right trying to fucking shame this woman for making this song and for its content, doing the why thing. Why has it not worked? Why has they failed to have an effect? Do you know why? Because it's popular. Because people bought it. It was the biggest selling song last year. You know, that's the difference. Pepe Le Pew and, you know, and a couple of random barely fucking, and a couple of Dr. Seuss books that no one's fucking ever heard of, these are not things that are going to make anybody any fucking money, you know. I mean, Bill Cosby was still doing gigs, live gigs, even after 50 women had publicly accused him of raping them. He was still being booked in doing gigs. Do you know why? Because these gigs had sold out. And that's all the fucking entertainment industry cares about. If they can make money for it, if they can sell tickets, someone will fucking book them. And my favourite one was like, you know, what I love is that you get all these conservatives come out and say like, you know, oh, I'm going to download all the Mumford and Sons, and I just love the fact. I think we should be deciding who are we going to cancel next based on what shit to bulk buy. There's just some geezer sat in his front room with a load of racist Dr. Seuss books, a load of Mr. Potato Head games, a stack of Mumford and Sons CDs, a fucking. Fucking, you know, Gone with the Wind on DVD, you know, and like all this fucking other stuff, you know. Pepe Le Pew fucking up, you know. No, I'm not going to buy it. I haven't bought any Marilyn Manson ever, you know. No, I'm not going to. Yeah, but that's your decision, mate. But other people don't have to fucking go to make that decision. You know, I don't do it either. You know, I mean, people always ask, you know. I was having this discussion recently, and someone was saying, you know, what about buying their new stuff? And I'm like, dude, that's your decision. It's your money. I'm not going to tell you how to spend your money. And the truth is, you could buy that, you could spend that money, and I would never know. You could sit here and say that you're not going to, and then just go and buy it. So it's not my decision to make. You know, but like I said, you know, what I would say to people who like. Who might sort of like something, then all you got to do is, you know, it's pretty easy to get fucking, you know, to download and find fucking copies you can download for free if you don't want to give someone your money, you know. Yeah. Well, no, I agree with you, you know. But at the same time, I also appreciate the fact that it's someone else. People have the right to sit here and sort of, if someone gives me shit, I've had people give me shit over fucking drawing. I remember I uploaded a drawing last year, or about a year and a bit ago, and it was of Jeff Goldblum. And Jeff Goldblum had literally that day or the day before been interviewed, and he'd sort of like been and they were, I don't even know what he said, but he was perceived, it was felt that he made some comments regarding Woody Allen that were seen as, you know, that were not seen as sort of condemning or even sort of supporting or even maybe possibly, I don't know. But this woman posted a comment on my fucking on the Jeff Goldblum drawing, saying it's a shame that you've drawn this guy given what he said recently. I hope you will, you know, I hope in future you don't make the, you know, you choose, you know, who you. I'm like fuck you. I don't give a fuck what Jeff Goldblum. I drew, like, where were you when I drew a picture? I drew a picture of Mike Tyson last week. That guy literally went to prison for raping someone. You know, I've drawn pictures. I drew Stone Cold Steve Austin. He's a fucking, he's been done for domestic violence. You know, Nicolas Cage, domestic violence. You know, I've drawn pictures of me, for fuck's sake. We want to talk problematic favourites here. Don't fucking, you know, I'll draw, it's a fucking picture, you know. I'm not going to be fucking browbeaten by say, you know, if it matters to you, if you think that me drawing a picture of someone is in some way an endorsement of everything they've ever fucking said or done, then quite frankly, you're on the wrong fucking, you're not going to really appreciate, what I do, because I don't, I don't fucking let people bully me or shame me into fucking, this is my fucking, this is my art. If you don't like it, that's fine, but it's a fucking drawing, so fuck you. Oh, bollocks to TYT. I went off TYT fucking years ago, I don't mind some of them. I don't mind Anna at times, and there's John, the guy John, he's okay, but just in general, I'm just not most controversial. Well, I mean the definition of controversial is simply a film that fucking. I mean, honestly, I couldn't fucking tell you. Do you know what that fucking what was that that Polish film that was on Netflix called 365 Days? That is fucking an horrendous fucking. I mean, I'm just turn it down. I never caught it, as in no it's a Polish film, but it's okay, it's about, the story is there's this gangster whose name I can't remember, but he is the male lead, and he's this fucking, I mean, he's effectively this fucking piece of shit. He's this fucking, aggressive, cartoon. He's what you imagine an incel imagines what an alpha male is. And he basically, he's effectively this fucking murdering gangster rapist fucking. And anyway, at the start of the film, this guy gets shot, but just before he gets shot, he sees this woman on the beach, and he can't stop thinking about it, because she was the most beautiful woman he's ever seen. And when he survives being shot, and he makes it his mission to find this woman, and to make her fall in love with him. And he finds her. This woman's got a job. She's got a relationship with another guy, and this gangster guy kidnaps her, and then basically takes her back to his place, and he holds her hostage, and he says, "You're not leaving, and you're going to stay here for 365 days, and if at the end of that you're not in love with me, I'll let you go." And guess what? She falls in love with him, and he literally is. It's fucking horrific, and I'm like, it's like, no, this is Stockholm. This has literally happened to real people in real life. There have been women who have been kidnapped by nutters and held hostage because they were trying to make them fall in love with them, and it ends up with her and him. Like, she gets pregnant by him. They end up. She bins her boyfriend. They end up as a couple, and it's like, and he hasn't changed at all, and it's also one of the more sort of like, uncomfortable or awkward things about it is that there was a lot of discussion and debate around, were these sex scenes actually real, because they sure as shit seem it. They weren't, apparently, but they're very, very. It's not the sort of thing you would want to watch with your parents, or your in-laws, but it's like, that's it, and it's like, and this is part of a trilogy. This is based on a book that was actually written by a woman, and it's part of a trilogy. But and they're gonna make the rest of them, and I've already looked up what happens in the sequels and the second and the third one. But it's just, but that's it. I mean, like, this guy who is a fucking, who is this, vile, coercive, kidnapping, basically a fucking, rapist, and who just grabs women and makes them do stuff to him. Like, he just kidnaps this woman, she falls in love with him, and that's it. He's your fucking hero. That's your romantic male lead, and we're supposed to support this kid. We're supposed to feel that this is like some, and it's not. It's just like, this is someone who's been fucking brainwashed, and this is a woman who's been quite obviously psychologically fucking, coerced into this, No, I'm not saying you shouldn't watch it. I mean, just watch it, but just, I defy anyone to come away and tell me that there's anything that it's anything more than just an unpleasant fucking story, because there's no fucking, there's no moral to it, because the guy who decides that he's this gangster who decides to kidnap this woman and hold her against her will for a year is the guy who ends up getting what he wants. And that's kind of like, well, what am I supposed to take from this, If it had been a case of, by the end of the film, the geezer's fucking, changed his way, or there's been some kind of reversal, or fucking, of character, or there's been some kind of, then that's where it fucking makes sense. But like, they've got the guy who is basically in every way the fucking, the piece of shit, who you would imagine would be the villain of the piece. He's the fucking hero, and it's not, and it's nothing to do. I mean, the content, like I said, the sex scenes are quite, just seem to be unnecessarily fucking, graphic, but not explicit. But like, it's the story. It's not like a case of with like some films where it's the visual aspect. It's not like with, Serbian film or Sallow or, Human Centipede, where it's you're being, visually assaulted by things. It's just it's the story, that we're supposed to fucking, because they play it as a story. They have all the fucking romantic music and all of the fucking love songs and all of the fucking big, and that's what we're supposed. By the end of it, we're supposed to be like, it's like this way, and you're like, no, I just fucking. Oh no! See, the thing about that cuties thing, I don't know whether I want to get into this, because there was a lot about that pissed me off, and one thing that pissed me off is, like, I find it really, it's indicative of how, art that is about something that is actually in you, that is all around you, is always treated is always, people always object and get outraged by the person who shows you something that is fucking everywhere, that you should be, if you're outraged by cuties, then you should be fucking protesting and calling for the shutting down of Instagram and TikTok every fucking day if you're outraged by that fucking film, because that is what the film is about. That if you actually watch the film, the biggest problem with cuties was Netflix fucking fucked up the marketing for it. They sold it. They made it look really fucking like questionable and dodgy, and it's not really, But like I said, if you if you think this is a problem, if you think what the thing that it's sort of emphasising is the normalisation and the sexualisation of young girls and children, and if you've been on Instagram or TikTok or you've been on any, it's fucking everywhere, they're fucking literally they're all over the place, and it's like, if that's if but you're not gonna fucking get offended by that, you're not gonna get offended by by websites like TikTok or Instagram that literally have accounts that are like just basically pictures of very, very under. Some girls as young as aged anything from 14 down to 9 or 8 years old, just wearing bikinis and fucking and swimwear and fucking and so and they're followed by 500,000 people, and guess what? Most of them are not fucking young children who are interested in fucking swimwear. Most of them are greasy, dirty old fucking men, when it's like the people who get more offended by someone who does a joke about a Catholic priest, fucking a kid, than they do about the fucking Catholic Church, protecting and support and taking care and hiding these fuckers and being riddled with it. It's that kind of fucking thing. People get more offended by they get more it's like Irving Welsh once did this this portrait of Myra Hindley, and it was a portrait of Myra Hindley that was made entirely of handprints, children's handprints. Like, he just had none of the kids knew what the fuck it was. He just had them come in, and it's like, if you got as offended, an outrage, but it's the same thing with it's like, we're seeing it now on the right, for example. Like, people are it's like people are outraged about Cardi B singing a song "Wet Ass Pussy." It's like, yeah, but you're all the fuckers. Aren't you the people who voted for the guy who literally was caught on fucking tape bragging about grabbing women by the pussy? And you voted for him, and you defended him, and you attempted to rationalise him. If your offence towards Cardi B was as fucking anywhere near, was directed at Donald Trump when he did that, then guess what? He probably might not have been been your candidate. Well, I mean, animation does allow it. Well, this is why South Park was, this is what South Park sort of pioneered. They sort of showed that, because if South Park had been a fucking, had been a live action fucking, TV show with real kids playing it, wouldn't have fucking worked, But no, I mean, I'm not going to fucking, placate to Ben Shapiro, and just think, Ben Shapiro, when he first came onto the scene, he appeared in there was an article in the New York Times that called him the cool kids philosopher. Oh yeah, there's nothing cooler than being terrified of women's vaginas. I mean, that's the fucking that's. Brilliant, yeah. Yeah, but this is the thing. But this is how they spin it. They sort of sit there and they constantly talk about, Cardi B, like, you're a role model for young girls, and young girls look up to you. And she's like, well, that's your fucking problem. That's the parents' problem. She's like, I never asked anybody to fucking. I never asked any people to look at me as a role model, and she's never once claimed that WAP is a song that is empowering or that is in any way. She stated herself, I wouldn't let my fucking children listen to that. The same way that a lot of people, a lot of artists and performers who do adult content. I mean, that's why it's called explicit content. But it's like, you care about whether she's a role model for young girls. Well, that's your fucking fault, isn't it? Isn't that the fault of the parents? That's their responsibility. If Cardi B can have a greater influence on your child than you can as their parents, then you're failure. You're a failure as a parent. But again, we just go back with like, yeah, but I mean, who do you think's a bigger influence on young people, the president or Cardi B? Yeah, there's nothing wrong with not liking the song, and there's nothing wrong with thinking it's vulgar, but just don't pretend that it's like the last days of Sodom and Gomorrah. Jesus Christ, I remember growing up, I could think of at least half a dozen songs, sung by men 20 years ago. Pony by Genuine, Doing It by LL Cool J. Most of Prince's fucking, like a back catalogue, I mean, R. Kelly had a song literally called "I'm Fucking You Tonight." I mean, even 25, 30 years ago, I mean, Madonna was causing controversy with like a lot of stuff, but this was still, but even then, it was still 25 years ago. The fact that we're still at a point where women talking like this is, makes people more uncomfortable than. No, there isn't. Eminem never had one song that caused this much, that got this much outrage out of people for this length of time. Baby Got Back, yeah, shake that ass, bitch, boom, boom, boom. Let me hear you say wayo, Dirty ODB, even some songs by women, like Milkshake by Khalees. We all know what that's about, The only difference, but then these fuckers give themselves away. Like Lauren Chen posted that tweet here, and it was a picture of Cardi B and Megan Thee Stallion at the Grammys, and she said, "I guess maybe Islam's got a point about the West." I'm like, thank you. You just, I mean, you can claim that's a joke, but it's not, is it? I mean, even the Taliban aren't as fucking petty. Even they would have let it go by now, See you, John. Take care, mate. Well, no, but that's the thing. I don't. Like I said, the thing with this song is it like people got. It just. It's like with anything. Like she. Cardi B's not stupid. She uses the controversy to her advantage, whereas a lot of these fuckers, they get criticised by people and they piss and moan and cry about it. Like, people like Ricky Gervais and Bill Maher and all these other fuckers, they just cry about it, and I'm like, just run with it. Why are you being so sensitive about people being offended? I mean, that you should be used to it by now. Yeah, but Anders Breivik was a fucking mass murderer. Lauren Chen is a fucking YouTuber. I don't give a I know, Brian, do not start doing that thing you do where you fucking just post nothing but fucking stuff in the chat that has nothing but statements of fact that you know full well that I'm fucking fully aware of, because they're literally things I taught you about. Because that, where that fucking goes. Stop before you fucking hit enter, please. If you want to play a fun game, read Anders Breivik's manifesto and play a game that I invented when I read it last time, called, where you take quotes of it and go and say, right, is this Jordan Peterson or Anders Breivik? Because there's a lot of it's because when I first read it from back in back in 2000 fucking like 12, you know, compared to now, in the last 9-10 years, it is fucking, it reads like a fucking, like any pile of shit right-wing fucking book anyway, you know, I've ever, you know. No, it doesn't relate. Lauren Chen and Anders Breivik are in no way in the same fucking sport, mate. You know, first of all, Anders Breivik was intelligent. You know, Lauren Chen is fucking thick. God Almighty, I flushed things down my toilet that fucking could have outwitted that. You know, I mean, this is a woman who made a video when the new TV show, the new version of Star Trek came out, complaining about how it was like the woke fucking brigade had taken it over, and it was because it's got a transgender character. I'm like, this is Star Trek, you ignorant fucking tart. Like, the whole thing, since day one, the whole thing of Star Trek has been about, you know, different people from different backgrounds and cultures and different, you know, genders and sexuality, all coming together, you know. I don't give a shit. I don't care about Jordan Peterson. Fuck him. I will treat him with the same contempt that his fucking people who follow him would treat me when they call me things like a crackhead and a junkie. I'm like, yeah, well, fuck him. And do you know what? I was a junkie, and do you know what? I didn't need to go to fucking rehab for a month. And at least when I was a fucking junkie, I fucking did it because I was enjoying it. Not because I couldn't handle the stress of my wife dying, who's a fucking rock and strength, by the way, you fucking limp dick prick, you know. Yeah, I mean, it's like, it's like, but she was complaining that Star Trek was all woke and progressive. I'm like, it's Star Trek. It's been woke since day one. What fucking... where is this all-white version of... Where is this white cisgendered male version of fucking Star Trek that you've been watching? Oh, no, I'm not sure. No, there are some that play dumb, and then there are some that are just too dumb that they give themselves away. You know... You know, I mean, the fact that she was the only one complaining about it, and I'm like, do you know why? Because the rest of them realised it would be a dumb argument to make. Did it flop? Last time I checked, it was fucking number 4 in the New York Times bestseller list. Define flopped, you know. It doesn't help the fact the advert I saw for it on Twitter literally had a grammatical error in it. You know. That even I spotted right away, and I'm not the fuck, you know. As you know. But I know. Well, it's like what, you know. It's kind of like, it's like someone watching Two Girls One Cup and then complaining that it promotes homosexual relationships. You know. Yeah, neither have I. Let's keep it that way, shall we? Yeah, well, you have a Russian, you have a guy, you know, you have a you have the Asian guy, you have the black guy, you have the you know, you've got Spock, who's a mutt, you know. Then you've got, you know, Shatner, who is, you know, Captain Kirk, who is obviously just a fucking, you know, an alpha male sex beast, and you've got Uhura, you've got, and then in the later ones you have a Klingon. You know, that's probably why they didn't mind it. They didn't mind it because, I mean, even with Picard, they probably saw Picard and thought, oh look, a skinhead, a white skinhead, you know. And then you had a guy who was, you know, I always wondered, you know, the way that pulling your eyes back is offensive to, like, Asian people. Do you think if you were like if you were in the Star Trek universe, if you were to, the equivalent for a Klingon would be getting a Cornish pasty and sticking it to your head, or just doing that and going, "Hey, I'm Commander Worf." You know, would that be? This is a conversation I definitely think is worth having. Yeah, Klingon face, yeah. Which is basically blackface, but with a Cornish pasty. Or a calzone. You could use that, I suppose. You know, or if you've got a small head, an empanada, you know. You know, or if you want to annoy Mr. Spock, you could just pull your ears. Pull your ears. It's not really blackface, is it? That's Vulcan ears, yeah. If I may, this was a beat that it took me about 4 days to fucking make this, but this was a beat that I made. You know, using all of the fucking instructions. But where is it? Where is it? Come on. Why aren't you working? Oh, of course I've got to turn it down. Oh, that's this. Why aren't you playing? Oh, here we are. Here we are. I don't know about you, but that is £1 million waiting to be made. Yeah. Do you know what that is, mate? It's trap, that is. I'm now a trapeze artist. You know. Well, I mean, you know, I made it together. They give you like loads of these little. They give you loads of like plugins and packs that basically come with all of these. Like, you know, they come with a selection of like, you know, drums and and samples and that, and then you fucking they sort of, and you sort of follow an instruction, right? You put that there and that there. So it's not something that I created off the top of my head, but it was one that was sort of like I put it together with the bits in that pack. So not that one. Yeah, I know what I've got to do, mate. You know, it's just I'm learning. Thing is, I'm learning how to use like this. Like this is something I've never done before, and the problem with it is it's all very well. You know, I've been working. It's taken me months to fucking get to this point, because you can learn how to use the software. You can learn how to use the fucking the launch pad or the controller or the keyboard or whatever. But at the end of the day, they can't teach you how to make music. And and so it's. But then I've never made I've never made electronic music or made music on using software before, or using launch pads or DJ controllers and stuff like that. I think it's funny that an organisation like NAMBLA can exist, and there are people like your relatives who think the problem with NAMBLA is the fact that they're left wing, not the fact that they want to they want to legalise fucking kids. I mean, that would be enough for me. I wouldn't care about beyond. Although I would imagine that although I don't know too much about it, but I would imagine that NAMBLA, because people who zoophiles do this, people who fuck animals, they try and co-opt what their fetish or their lifestyle with the LGBT community. Am I thinking about? Yeah, but I'm so far away from doing that. Trust me, I'm fucking I'm nowhere near. Now, I mean, I've effectively got. I mean, what I've got. I mean, this is my favourite gadget. I've got this thing here. This is fucking. I love this fucking thing. You can basically make anything with this bastard. Did I see that film Zoo? Now, I've seen plenty of documentaries on fucking YouTube about God Almighty. Do not fucking that. I tell you what, that I was thinking of fucking doing a video that cunt fucking Kira the Wolf came back to YouTube recently, and he was the guy who was fucking. He was the guy who was fucking his dog. And got fucking exposed, and was fucking loads of chat logs got leaked with him and a load of other fucking horrid, who are part of a fucking subset of fucking zoophiles called zoo sadists, and he had 250,000 subscribers or something like that. He's like one of the most popular furry YouTubers, and it got to the point where it was like and he just buggered off without any explanation. Then he came back recently, and he was just spouting so much bullshit. There's actually a podcast run by there's actually a podcast, you can find it on YouTube. It's called Zooier Than Now, and I'm like, this is I mean, I'm not sort of like having a go. If there's any, I'm not judging anyone, but the one sort of weird group or sort of subculture or fringe sort of thing that people are into is furries. They just fucking. I mean, when it's basically accepted, I mean, when there have been multiple surveys that have found 20 to 25% of the people in your community are zoophiles or into fucking animals. I'm like, and you keep going. I'm like, well, a zoo sadist is a zoophile who, you know, goes a little bit further. You know, they don't just fuck an animal, they'll fucking maim it and then fuck it, or they'll fuck its, you know, they'll kill it and they'll fuck it. You know, or they'll fuck, you know. Well, Mr. Hands, that's just a geezer. That's a bloke getting what he fucking deserves, quite frankly. You know. At least in that video, the fucking, you know, the animal comes out, you know, as it's the animal that's fucking that won that one. You know, I mean, I have a particular hatred for anybody who, you know, abuses or you know is cruel or, you know, hurts animals. But, you know, when your thing is, you know, hurting them and fucking them, and I'm like, I'm sorry, there's nothing that, you know, anything would go with you, quite frankly. I would put you in the same part of the prison where, you know, I would be happy for you to be subjected to the same fucking thing that the paedophiles and rapists get in prison, quite frankly. There's a 2-part sort of video on I can't remember the name of the channel now, but it's called "Don't Fuck with Dogs," and it's 3.5 hours in total. It's the first part's 90 minutes, and the second part is is 2 hours, and it just it just go like it's like the leak, and it's about the sort of leaking of all these chat logs and the fight, you know, and some of them, you know, a couple of them, you know, did go. I think there was one geezer who got fucking done, who was arrested and, you know, went to prison. But like there were, you know, but the main story of it is about this YouTube user Kira the Wolf, who was just trying desperately to fucking, you know, come up with it. First he claimed the chat logs were leaked, and then it was discovered that this was on Telegram, and it's impossible to fake chat logs in Telegram. And then it was like, and then he was saying, oh, they were leaked, but I was joking, or I didn't mean it, I was just trying to flex in front of my zoophile friends. I'm like, you fucking worthless sack of shit. Imagine being that pitiful. And then it turned out that then he started denying it again, and then it was like, and then videos came out that had fucking, that you could clearly see it was him, and then he's like, that it's just, and it goes on for, and it's just them, and it's not even just that. They talk about kids, they talk about, they talk about, fucking roadkill. They talk about loads, fucking puppies and fucking, and dogs and all other sorts of animals and that, and I'm just like, you fucking. I'm just like, it just makes you want to vomit, But yeah, if you want to know the story, but yeah, that guy, right, after several months, fucking after he disappeared, just came back, and I'm like, no, no, you can't. I'm sorry, pardon me if I'm, engaging in cancel culture, but surely we cannot allow a man who fucked his dog to death. Surely we can't fucking tolerate that. And if you can, I mean, how good are your YouTube? Even my YouTube videos aren't that good that I would expect anyone to just brush the fact that I fucked a dog to death in the, I'm not even joking. That is what he was claiming. He used the old, like, it was locker room talk. I'm like, really? That's I mean, at one point, a load of stuff. At one point, this group of furries who were admitted zoophiles, they fucking, they managed to get hold of a load of fucking, like chat logs and information, and they leaked them out because even they were disgusted by these people. What groups am I? I'm not. They're part of the furry community, like I just said. They're Fuck it. Let's get. Fuck it. Let's bring it up, shall we? Let's. Got nothing better to do. I'm not going anywhere. Yeah, I mean, what? And why would you be in a locker room? What locker? And if you're going to do something, I mean, at least the geezers who fuck horses are putting their lives at risk, I'm like, you fuckers are living dangerously. There's a chance you could fucking, that bastard could fucking tear you to fucking pieces. But, No, he didn't. Down the Rabbit Hole didn't do anything on these people. Yeah. There's a guy who's associated with who's a friend of Down the Rabbit Hole, but he didn't do anything about. He did a video on furries, but he didn't do anything about this lot. Oh shit, wrong one. Sorry, forgot my keyboard's not fucking. The keyboard's plugged into the other computer. Right. You need to go help with errands. Whatever. Yeah, well, you know what? I am perfectly fine. This is an area where this isn't kink shaming. This is evil, and these people are fucking evil, and yeah. And I will quite happily see every single one of the cunts. Fuck it. Link the video. No. It's called. I told you it's called Don't Fuck. Oh no, wrong one. It's called Don't Fuck with Dogs. It's, Oh, sorry. Don't mess with dogs. Here it is. Yeah. What the fucking hell's wrong with you? Okay, some weird fucking shit's back. Shut the fuck up, would you? Would you stop fucking...
One of the most hateful videos I've seen in a
Hold
long
on,
time.
Stop fucking talking. Okay. No, I'm not looking for Toad McKinley's. I've got the fucking thing. He did a video on a completely different geezer. This... Okay, the user who did this, her name's Cecil McFly. No. Yeah, I mean, there's flaws with the video. If I'm going to be talking from a presentation, I mean, like, there's a little bit, there are little things that, like, she has a habit of repeating certain phrases a lot, and her voice is kind of, she has a very strange sort of cadence. But other than that, it's here we go. Now, hold on. Let me. Can I turn the brightness down on this fucking bastard? No, not that one. Oh, bollocks to it. Here we go. Here we go. Fuck it. You don't need to see much. Okay, why is that not working? Come on. Work, you bastard. We're going to watch it. Oh, damn right we are. I got fuck it. You got anything better to do, my friend? I ain't. Connect to the cunting speaker, you fucking worthless, evil bastards. Why do you choose these? Why do you choose the most fucking? You never do this in the middle of the. Thank you. Now, good boy. Well done. Give yourself a fucking goldfish. Now, here we are. Okay, why is this not fucking... Oh, of course, because...
Animal characters with human personalities and characteristics. Yeah. Examples of anthropomorphic attributes include exhibiting human intelligence and facial expressions, speaking, walking on two legs, and wearing clothes.
Perfect.
The furry community does tend to have a sexual nature to it. That's not to say that every member of the community or fandom is in it for the sexual aspect of it.
Only one in four.
No. But it is very prevalent in the fandom. I'm not here to condemn the fandom as a whole.
I fucking
and I hope the viewers would not do so as well.
Fuck 'em.
But I am not going to say that there is no problems with furries. Back in the 90s, there was an effort to stop the sexual deviancy of the members through a group known as the Burn Furs. This did not ultimately pan out. I myself cannot pinpoint why, and that is not the point of the video. There have been a variety of issues in the community throughout the years, some small and somewhat humorous, like Tumbles the Stair Dragon, and some extremely dark, like the events involving sexual predators, such as Growly. But one event that affected the community and affected the internet as a whole happened in the September of 2018. Today,
yes, it's 3 years ago this started.
A story involving animal abuse, Iranian super hackers,
fucking fat cunt there,
and some absolutely deplorable people getting off scot-free.
Hands up, you guys! Yes!
Oh, it starts with Shane Dawson. Isn't that fucking beautiful? That aged perfectly.
Somebody say, dear?
A community isn't supposed to tear each other apart every single day.
Just disgusting, right? Repugnant.
This is the story of the Zoo Sadists. Be a good band name.
That damn Kiwi Farms.
We begin our story on September.
It's very rare I find myself on the side of Kiwi
on this
Farms.
Day, a Twitter account by the name of Pseudonym/Akela tweeted a link to a Telegram channel with the statement, "No more covering for these people. These are not what zoophiles are." The channel, titled Zoo Sadist Evidence, contained Telegram messages forwarded from other channels in which members of the furry fandom discussed what they called hard zoo, or better known as particularly violent bestiality, including necrophilia and animal snuff films. The channel also contained videos and images and multiple RAR files containing exported Telegram chat logs and further images and videos. They also continued in the tweet thread, first tagging people to spread the message, and then tagging people involved in the chats, labeling them
Imagine
as
seeing your
zoo
tag on
sadists.
that tweet.
They write, at Yami the Wolf 1, at Kira the Wolf, is a zoo sadist, at Zyro TR1, is a zoo sadist, at Glowfox Artworks, is a zoo sadist, Cepheus, is a zoo sadist, at
It's like a hardcore porn version of Zoolander.
/Tane is a zoo sadist. At Akita Takita is a zoo sadist. At Paquito Dingo is a zoo sadist.
So glad I don't know who
At
any of these
Emberwolf
cunts are.
Is a zoo sadist. At Techno Husky is a zoo sadist. People began pouring through the contents of
I will
these
say
leaks.
you've got to pay
The
attention
leaks
because
contained
there's a lot of
conversations
names
between
here. There's a
people
lot
who
of
will be
fucking
labeled
people
as
get thrown
zoo
at you.
sadists. The people involved in the leaks were Kiro the Wolf, Zyro, Glowfox, Cepheus Rivendare, Digivolve/Tane, Takita, Corneal Grimond, also known as Paquito Dingo, Ember Wolf, Techno Husky, Wolf, Elite Knight, also known as Corey
Fucking
Wolf,
look at all these
PWC,
names.
Aquinas, Tim Wynn,
All of these
Nathan,
cunts.
Sanji, Blonde Dog, Kintari, Shepnuts, Il-1 Sheppy Paws, Koi Wolf, Huma Cyrinus, Momo, Zeta Omega, Zyro, Miscus, and more who aren't named. Kira the Wolf would soon become the focus of the leaks, as he had the biggest following. He was what is known as a poppy fur, or someone who was popular in the furry community. His popularity became concrete when in 2017 he was featured on popular YouTuber Shane Dawson's channel.
No, Snake Thing is in this.
Video called
This
The
is
Weird
this
Side of YouTube
Snake Thing is
Furries.
involved
The
in
contents
this.
of the leaks were poured over through the next months, and arrests were actually made. Furries had originally been the butt of jokes on the internet for many years.
They fucking
but
ain't
they
gonna
had been
change.
somewhat left alone for a while previous to this. I know I've heard theories that was due to the prevalence of the brony fandom being the new punching bag of the internet.
Oh yes,
But
the
these
bronies,
leaks
they're the
would put
fucking
a
problem.
new
You can
highlight
fuck a
on
My
the
Little
degeneracy
Pony
of
all
the
you want,
furry
mate.
fandom. What was contained in these leaks were horrifying. People began to comb through the contents of the evidence to identify those involved. This video would discuss what was contained in the leaks and the events as everything was discovered. An initial tweet from September 19th, 2018 from someone who looked through the evidence read, "Hey, just so you all know, if you don't have the stomach to watch the videos of Kiro doing to these innocent animals, I'm going to give you an extremely triggering thread of what I saw. There's so much more than just he's a zoophile. Video 1. Kiro in a suit hat.
That would be
uses a
enough, wouldn't it?
medium-sized
I mean-
dog to fillet several sex toys. Then the real thing. He penetrates the dog afterward. The dog runs out of the camera several times and retracts and gags from the abuse.
Oh, for
This video
fuck's
was
sake.
later confirmed to not be Kiro. Instead, it was a member of the chat going by Elite Knight and later found out to be Corey Wolf TWC. The Twitter user continued.
Anyone with
Video
wolf in their
2,
name,
the
apparently.
tied and muzzled German Shepherd is ripped. Video 3. The corpse of a deer is used as a sex toy, while its blood is smeared on Kira's legs. This deer video was also later revealed to not be Kira the wolf. Instead, it was most likely the user Cepheus Rivendare. They continued the tweets. Update. More videos have been found, including someone having sex with the decapitated head of a small puppy. I'm done
the full
watching
Cameron.
videos like these, as they unnerve me greatly, but I'll report on the findings of others. I hope you can forgive me. On the day of these leaks, Kira the wolf immediately deleted his Telegram account, claiming he was hacked, tweeting,
What a
"I go to
massive
get back in
coincidence."
it, and now it's gone. What the fuck? My account is gone? What? Why?" Immediately upon tweeting this, an important member in our story responded, Ashley Zoe Fox,
This
and tried
fucking
to defend
dopey
her friend
cow.
Kira, writing, "I just tried to pull you up on Telegram, and when I did, it loaded an old chat, froze my Telegram. I had to restart Telegram, and now you aren't in my
I'm
list.
never going on
WTF."
Telegram.
Kira proceeded to tweet out more on him being hacked, this time with something he claimed as proof that he was hacked. He wrote, "Guys, I'm scared. My Telegram was hacked, and I don't know what to do. What's happening?" In the tweet, he provided a screenshot of his Telegram being accessed from Iran. Iranian super hackers will become a meme as the story
Iranian
continues.
super
The issue
hackers.
here is that Kira left something in the screenshot. The little symbol in the corner showing he was using a VPN. If you don't know what a VPN is, it's something someone can use to change their IP address to various locations. This means
Like
that
Iran,
Kiro's
you
IP
know.
address showing his account was accessed in Iran meant virtually nothing. Soon after the leak, people rushed over to the interview Shane Dawson did with Kiro to leave replies.
Shane Dawson.
And he's a dog. Who would have thought? You might want to consider taking this one down, because Kiro is confirmed zoophile. Too bad this video now means nothing. Kiro got exposed and is a pedophile and zoophile, including doing f***ing roadkill. You should really take this video down and
A
find an actual better
necro-pedo
furry icon to do this
zoo
with.
sadist
At
file.
some point during this debacle, Shane
If you're gonna do
Dawson
something
would
wrong,
slightly
do it
delete
right.
the video. Early people combing through the videos believed Kira to be a man in one of the leaked videos. The video of a man having sex with a dead deer, which, to be honest, it was obviously.
I hope his name was
On
John.
the 19th, Kiro's #1 supporter, Ashley Zoe Fox, tweeted out the comparison of the man in the video
Hashtag
to
I
Kira
stand
the
by
wolf.
Kiro.
People
I wouldn't.
defending Kira would use this as meaning that Kira was innocent on all accusations. Immediately following the horrors released in the leaks, the forums over at Kiwi Farms created a thread to discuss the leaks. On the 16th,
Of course they
sifted
did.
through the evidence. Despite what people feel about Kiwi Farms, the website plays a really
It wasn't a
important part
criticism
the story,
of Iran,
and I used
mate.
it as my
It was
primary
good.
source to follow the timeline of the story. If you're gonna come here and tell me Kiwi Farms is evil and spreading lies, I only use the evidence they provided that included
Oh, no, they
links
are, but
and
you know,
archives to verify. And they
Everyone
were the
gets it
people who were
right. Everyone's
coming
allowed
through all
one,
this,
ain't
so.
they?
Many people in the Kira Defense Squad early on tried to get the hashtag #IStandByKiro trending during the beginning of the scandal. To my knowledge, it never became trending. Popular YouTuber Mr. Mediker began to get interested in the story around this time as well, and would soon make a video on the initial findings. We'll get to that in a second. Upon the initial dump of evidence, one Twitter user, Venus as a Bun, helped spread the leaks, and on the 19th, they tweeted out several conversations Kiro allegedly had in the Telegram. They write, "After my accusations yesterday, a few individuals, who I will not name here, asked where I sourced my claims from. After sharing a Telegram that Pseudonym set up to leave evidence behind,
Pseudonym.
we waited
Okay,
through
that's a
it.
good one.
Here are
I like
saved conversations at Kiro the Wolf had, and then they showed images of several Telegram conversations Kiro had. In one disturbing conversation, Kiro wrote,
Sorry for not responding last
Okay.
night. I passed out. But yeah, I'm okay with necro stuff if it's not that bloody. But I'm totally against killing for sex. I only do it with roadkill.
Necro
In
stuff
another
if
leaked
it's not that
conversation,
bloody.
Kira speaks with the ringleader of the chat, Snake Thing,
What a
but
bizarre
his love
fucking-
for, what is known as cub, which is a furry term for underage furries.
An
Kira on these
underage, a
chats would
child.
write,
Ooh, cup. Heart emoji, heart emoji, heart emoji, heart emoji, heart emoji. I always loved puppy butt.
Then Snake Thing responded,
Same.
to which Kiro said,
I need some puppy booty. Heart emoji.
Oh,
in another
fucking
conversation,
God,
he
I hope you
also
get your
said,
ass destroyed
I'm
by
okay
a
with
shy
humping a
horse.
4-month-old.
the alleged Telegram Kiro also had conversations dating years back, talking about doing awful things to dogs. In one conversation with Snake Thing, he writes,
It is. I've played with 2 pups so far.
to which Snake Thing responds,
Ooh. Story time. Heart emoji.
Kiro writes,
Oh, XD. They were just my dogs growing up. I only fingered their throats and
Oh,
put my pinky up their butts.
I only fingered
in
their
another
throats.
conversation, he writes,
Ah, yes. It's almost impossible to get good roadkill out
I'll
here,
fucking
too.
finger your
Which
throat,
Snake Thing
Sunbeam.
says.
I fucking never see you
Aww.
around here.
D equals.
and Kiro responds,
I need fox booty and deer butt.
because Kira was the center of attention at the beginning of the leaks.
What you
Kira
need is
continued
beat
to
him
tweet
round
out
the
that
head
he
with an
was
iron
innocent,
bar for
and
an
on the
hour.
19th tweeted, Furries and drama. Before you go around believing these rumors about me, know the facts. My account was hacked.
Okay,
I would never do
okay,
any of
just
these
so-
things.
so you're
These
saying
are
this is-
fake conversations.
Just so you know,
All
you're
of this-
saying that this is surreal now. This entire fucking this entire documentary is. There is no greater example of it gets worse.
is
you know.
someone trying to get attention. They're called trolls. If you choose to believe it without thinking about it logically, then fine. Become that troll online who has that mob mentality. But please,
Yeah, I
always
will.
look
I
at
will
both
happily do
sides
that.
first. I didn't do this. It should be obvious that these logs are fake. They don't even talk like me. Also,
That's 'cause they're
on the
text, you
19th of
cunt.
September, one of the people responsible for spreading the leaks, Venus as a Bun, tweeted out screenshots of the Telegram conversations from the Telegram leaks of Kiro feeling remorse for doing heinous things to his dog, Coda, though the video evidence of his acts to his beloved four-legged friend would not surface till a later date. Venus writes, in January 2017, Kira the Wolf had a dog that became ill with kidney failure and passed. Here's a conversation he had indicating his remorse for abusing his dying dog. Screenshots from
His
tweets
dog
around
was
the time
dying when he
correlate
fucked
this
it.
being a dog that did in fact exist. Kira is speaking to what I would label as the ringleader of the group, Snake Thing. Kira says to Snake Thing,
Thank you. I left the group because it reminded me of the stuff I did to him. Now that he's dying, I can't believe I did that to him. I can't be part of that group any longer. I loved him so much, and when he needs me, I can't be there. I'm almost 2 states away.
to which Snake Thing replied,
Wraps my arms around you.
Oh, fuck off.
Try not to feel too beat up about what you did.
Yeah, don't
slash
feel bad
what
about
you've done.
fucking your dying
He still loves
dog.
you in the end, and I'm sure he has had a blast of a time with you. With some care, he could survive until you see him again. I think. Though
Yeah, it goes on for
it'd
months.
cost
Yeah, that's why it's
some, I
fucking
think,
it's a ridiculous
but
claim.
For closure for you, I think it'd be worth it.
Also on the 19th, other furries from the leaks began to receive Twitter callouts,
Mhm.
though they were less noticed as Kira was, as they did not have the coveted title of Poppy Fur. Glowfox received a callout for a conversation he had where he discussed having sex with an 11-year-old.
I bet everyone in this group was so. The people with like no subscribers or like 20 have never been so grateful to not be fucking popular in their life. I'm so glad, you know. Good.
Tweets at. A Twitter user writes, I've been digging through the Zoosatum logs tonight, very disgusted. Here is at GlowFoxAD admitting to performing sexual activities with an 11-year-old he babysat. Next, Snake Thing received a personal call-out on his activities in a Twitter thread on the 20th of September. Snake Thing is the one that is involved in all the chats, and the reason as to why will come to light as more and more evidence comes out. Dio Task Devil on Twitter writes, another zoo sadist has been found, Snake Thing, aka Nelzar, secondary character named Nithalak. Portland folks should probably take note, beware, and tip their local police. Sappy Kitten responds, we are now aware.
There is no
and we are taking
spoiler.
steps
This
to
is
inform
as
the
awful
locals
as it-
of the situation.
you know,
Nelzar is
whatever-
not located in
whatever
Portland,
you can
but
imagine,
further south.
it gets-
They live
it's
with their
worse.
parents and do not have the means to travel or be sufficient on their own. Nelzar is aware that he has been exposed. One of the major turn of events that happened after leaks also happened on the 20th. This involved YouTuber
Look at
PK
this
Russell.
fucking
PK
knob.
Russell, also known as Parker, is known for animation meme reviews and debunking accusations on another furry. PK Russell
He's
was-
known for debunking pedophile accusations on another. Imagine that. That's what you're known for. You know, you've got there's another geezer out there who's been accused of fucking kids so much. You actually, you know, part of your thing is debunking that. Jesus Christ, get another hobby.
Released a video titled Kira the Wolf is Innocent, a video that he has now removed from the website. This video used a clickbait title and not once proved that Kira was innocent or not. Rather than that, Parker went over the possibility that Kira could have been hacked.
I mean, you're saying, oh, it's possible someone could have faked it, but it would have taken a lot of effort. Therefore, it wasn't faked. That's not how it works. It is totally
No, it literally is, mate.
possible that someone faked
Look at
it.
that spotty-looking fucking... Oh, God.
Hacked it and faked
It's
all
got a
the
face like the
catalogs.
topographic map of the
It's that simple.
Himalayas.
This would later turn out to be a poorly thought out video because of the nature of the app Telegram. For
and
Kira
'cause
to have
he's
been
wrong.
hacked, he would have needed to be hacked for 2 years without knowing it, as dates of Telegram chats could not be edited server side. Also on the 21st, the Zoo Sadist Evidence Telegram released important information regarding Snake Thing's involvement in the logs, writing, first, Snake Thing was not the whistleblower. The people responsible for gathering these logs were zoophiles, trying to weed out those that would cause harm to animals. Insert long-winded debate about having sex with animals here. Regardless of your feelings on that, everyone hates when animals are
Zoophiles
for fun,
fucking leaked
zoo,
this shit.
fur, or both. How did we obtain these logs? Let us just say they're from Snake Thing's account, and he was not turning them over. The technical jargon is rather dry. Snake Thing was a key organizer of the sadists, and had
I mean, that's like finding out that, you know, Jimmy Savile leaked all the stuff about Jeffrey Epstein. You know, that's...
efforts in the past to eject the animal abusers from communities. It caught up to him, and that is where our leverage came from. The intent behind releasing what we did was to inform the fray community.
Why am I still doing YouTube? Well, apparently it gives you something to do, mate. You know, it's plus it's a job, innit? Anyway, why don't you fuck off? Right, we're listening to this fucking horrifying mess. Go and annoy someone else who apparently you think should be on YouTube. You know, there's a good idea.
Of these bad apples. Perhaps the methodology was flawed, but our options were limited. There were no vendettas.
No, he had
I
bleached
have only
hair.
talked about the initial public release of the logs, you guys. It will get worse.
Even
as
even
people
Hitler
will
liked
chat
that, like
conversations
dogs.
as they were put out in the public, as the authorities had most likely been contacted at this time. Number one, Kira defender Ashley Zoe Fox had to stick her nose into the online investigation by providing a fake police report on or around the 21st of September. People really honed in on the guilt of Kiro, even though he was not the worst member of the chat. Again, we will get to that. And on the 21st, a Kiwi farmer...
The word worst is very, very relative
here.
here.
On June 6, 2017, where he showed a screen cap of music he was listening to. And then combed through his Twitter to find out that he had posted the same screen cap to his Twitter the same day. This is not surefire proof that this is Kiro, but more strange coincidences appear as people dug further. Also on the 21st of the month, Kira got doxxed, which meant that his private or identifying information got published online.
Good.
Although it wasn't really hard for anyone who followed him to find that information. His dox and location would match up to the conversations that he allegedly had on the telephone.
It's okay, Nancy.
On the
Hitler
same
weren't too
day,
keen on
Kira
geezers
was
like you
maintaining
either.
his innocence, and tweeted out,
You know,
you don't get to
cunts.
accuse me of these horrendous things and then require me to prove my innocence. You have to prove I'm guilty in the first place.
Nope.
I am not a zoophile. I am not an animal abuser.
I
Others
am
look
a
into
human
defamation
being.
charges. Despite Kira's insistence that he was innocent, Snake Thing actually on the same day as the previous tweet confirmed that it was him in the chat. Kira confirmed that he was Snake Thing. He says that Kira had an interest in zoophilia, but doesn't say that he created any zoo
An
content.
interest?
Now,
Yeah,
they'll also
yeah, of
imply
course.
That Kiro may or may not have been part of
Yeah,
the
yeah, and fucking yeah, and do you know what? And Gary Glitter was a paediatrician.
Telegram channel. Things began to go really sour for Kira's rep. Soon people began to connect him with a man who went online as Ill-One Sheppypaws. Sheppypaws was a user of the late and renowned Deep Web Zoophilia forum, Animals
The
Dark
Deep
Paradise.
Web
According to someone who
Zoophilia.
used that website and stumbled upon
Charlotte's
Ill-One's
Web,
profile,
presumably.
Sheppy, Kiro's ex-boyfriend, made regular posts that included videos of them forcing oral sex upon the family dog. The point of said dog vomiting on the carpet, as
Oh,
this
for
prick made
fuck's
snarky
sake.
comments for the audience. He was all over that
That's a
forum.
night in,
Sheppy,
isn't it?
being Kira's boyfriend, was also added in the chat log, where Elite Knight and Snake Thing shared disgusting content he produced for the dark web, as well as reveal that he was Kira's ex.
No,
Though this
interest
would not be
in,
the
not
only thing that
interesting.
aligns him with Kiro. Things began to hit a wider audience when YouTuber Mr. Medica released a video titled
Now,
Amazing
Mr.
Dog.
Metica is, like, by all accounts, you know, a bit of a twat. I've, you know, just basically, I've never watched any of his videos, but, like, you know, this is one of those moments where, like, everyone can agree. We can all join together and say, fuck these cunts. You know.
on September 21st, 2018. In the video, Medicare goes over the initial leaks. He talks about the possibility of it being a group of trolls, but concludes the video with informing the audience that this content does in fact exist, that there are people who enjoy it, even if Kiro himself was not truly the person from the leaks. So, we move into the next day, the 22nd. The initial description
Day 2.
Initial. Filming the contents further, a user from Kiwi Farms gives a detailed description of the other videos in the leaks, focusing on the ones that were shared by the user Wolf. Wolf is by far the most disgusting person involved in the leaks. They write, page 1.
Imagine being the most disgusting person out of this lot.
Tied up Rottweiler, with buttons sewed over its eyes, he was fond of. Dismembered rotting dogs, especially genitals. Tied up dogs. Endless genitals and penetrative shots of his own animals. That screenshot I posted earlier regarding the sharpened wooden stick covered in ants. Page 2. Dead puppies bound with electrical tape. Snakes. These pictures include full-body shots of a white man. Not sure if that's Wolf. Decapitated puppies being...
It'll do, though.
What appears to be a knife and a choker collar inside an orifice. Page 3 has no thumbnails, just conversation. Wolf links to a live leak video of a decapitated snake in boiling water swimming. They're talking about adding someone to the forest. Along with those descriptions, a chat was shared to the users of Kiwi Farms between Wolf and Snake Thing, where Wolf details the horrendous murder and of a puppy he adopted. The details are too gruesome to detail here.
They're too gruesome to share in this fucking video.
He was by far the worst person, and he produced his own content.
Try and get your head round that.
Mentioned previously. While combing through the evidence, people began comparing.
Even I don't want to know what that is.
YouTube channel, causing there to be more damning evidence against him. On September 13th, 2016, Kiro told Snake Thing he was making a video for YouTube, which Kiro uploaded that same video the very next day.
Dabbing is officially dead now.
The commonalities won't end there. One other thing that was found while looking through his social media was that he was into vor, which is a paraphilia involved the fetishization of eating someone or being eaten. Also,
he's into cannibalism too, you know.
Pittsburgh.
Who had that on their bingo cards?
Also from Pittsburgh. But it goes deeper. Telegram Kiro and Twitter Kiro got their fursuits around the same time. Telegram Kiro also strangely aligned with Kiro's visit to Anthrocon, something YouTube Kiro had live streamed. These are all things aligning between 2016 and 2018. Oh, another similarity? Telegram Kiro also shared YouTuber Kiro's political views on animals and environment that he shared on both Twitter and his fur affinity.
Environment?
And Telegram Kiro also got interviewed by Shane Dawson at the same date too.
Oh, of course.
More logs were combed through. On the 22nd, this conversation...
It's not rare for Shane Dawson could be in this video and come out of it without any fucking not looking bad.
How hot it is. The snake. Despite all these parallels being drawn, on or around the 22nd of September, Kiro tweeted this. Chat logs can be faked. Screenshots can be faked. Forwarded messages on Telegram can be hacked.
Notice he's saying can be. He's not saying they were. He's just saying can be. And that is very, very telling.
Not prove that I wasn't hacked. This story began rapidly spreading all over the animal control section of Kiwi Farms, as well as lolcow on Twitter. On the 22nd, Kiro got his own thread dedicated to him following his activity on social media. One interesting unmentioned detail was more chat logs involving Kiro's dog, who at this point had been deceased. This dog's name is Coda. In this chat log, Kiro tells Snake Thing that his dog is dying of kidney failure. These chat logs about his dying dog would directly align with the public Kiro's tweets. Along with that was more images of Kiro sharing his fursuit over Telegram. I mean, not Kiro or Telegram Kiro or whatever. Telegram Kiro, in these messages, mentions that he is getting a bodysuit in a few weeks. These messages were posted on June 6, 2017. Kiro made a tweet 2 days later asking what to wear underneath the fursuit, as well as tweets thanking Kurosu Studios for the suit.
How much do they waste on those fucking things?
Kiro uploaded a video unboxing his new fursuit on June 22nd, a few days later. The thread also gave us new details about one of Kiro's alts, Yami the Wolf. On July 17th, 2017, Kiro made an alt Telegram account, Yami the Wolf. An important part of this whole thing as well is that three
a lot of coincidences in there.
Kiro,
I mean, you know,
directly linked
statistically.
To posts forwarded from the Zoo Sadist evidence dump. Also of interest in this thread were older pictures of Coda found uploaded by Kiro. These photos will be important later in the timeline.
Oh, that poor fucking dog's
Following
face.
this whole drama, Kiro immediately lost 10% of his following on Twitter around this time.
What do you mean, where is this going? It's been there, mate. It's going back.
He could have been hacked at this point, as it could technically be possible.
This is where it is.
He would have had to known him and hacked his account for 2 years. Kiro still played the Uwu victim. On the 22nd of September, posting to his
he's got a Patreon.
he wrote to his Patreon, "Thank you for your support."
No, the
Telegram
dog
will
is
be
not the
opening
fursuit.
in the very near future. Keep an
He
eye
didn't
out
make
for
a
an
fursuit
update.
out of
Thank
the
you
dog,
so much
mate.
for your support. Also on this day, Glowfox from the Zoo Sadism Leaks got his own thread on Kiwi Farms. In the opening, Glowfox's personal information got doxed, along with his significant others. The thread starts out by reading, "Amidst the Zoo Sadist leaks is an established furry artist
I
who
hope
goes
whoever
by the name
fucking made it out cheap out of fucking barbed wire and camel's pubic hair.
Glowfox. Real name, Philippe. A quick Google search of Glowfox brought up several accounts. Glowfox's DeviantArt account revealed a location. Glowfox's Tumblr is called Glowfox's Naughty Den. It contains a wealth of information that Glowfox himself posted. Pictures of his face, his significant other's face, their house, and a bunch of Legos.
Oh, his
all
significant
found on
other. I
Tumblr.
bet she's
Now,
well fucking pleased about
If you were to take
that.
a look at the Zoo Sadist Telegram archive, they would find photos of the exact same Legos as those found on Glowfox's Tumblr. So Glowfox apparently got found out by comparing Lego pics to his Tumblr.
Lego.
But not
Lego
only that,
was his
there
undoing.
a screenshot from Glowfox that showed him involved in the Zoo Sadist chat that also linked him to being the creator of a group he was publicly known to run, Glowfox's Naughty Den. If you would zoom in close enough
Oh,
to that
God.
screenshot, you would be able to read all of the groups that Glowfox
Oh no,
was a
well
member
no,
of.
to be fair, I mean his Patreon, when this video came up, there were like, his Patreon still had like 20 odd people on it, like donating, you know, I mean I'm convinced, I'm saying that there are people I'm convinced there are people who are donating to, you know many Patreons that have just, that have forgot about it because they almost seem to just always be there and they never go away. But yeah, there are some people who were, there were still a few people, shouldn't be too surprised,
Glowfox's Naughty Den has a megaphone located next to it. This indicated that Glowfox is the creator of the unique Telegram group, and not some imposter. Glowfox also is the owner of the Tumblr, Glowfox's Naughty Den, which was directly tied to his face and its real identity. Glowfox would later claim to be
In
innocent.
other words, you
and
are
not a Zoo
fucked,
sadist,
Sunbeam.
making claims that he was only going with the flow and was afraid of Snake Thing. However,
Only
within
going
Zoo
with the
Sadist
flow.
Telegram archive,
Fucking
there is indisputable
hell.
evidence. There are several pictures of Philippe
How much
playing
of a
with animals.
fucking
There are pictures of his significant
wimp.
other sucking a dog and getting fucked by one.
Oh,
Also contained
fucking
in this
hell.
thread was a focus on Glowfox's Telegram chats. So Glowfox's Telegram chats, despite trying to claim to be innocent and only going with the flow, showed that he was a despicable person as well.
No.
In this chat, Glowfox describes having sex with a dog, along with being sexually exploited by his father's co-workers. And in another chat, it has him
Good.
detailing that he started jerking off dogs at the age of 14. In another chat between Glowfox and Snake Thing, the topic turns to pedophilia. If these chats didn't scare you enough,
Don't they all?
Glowfox is also a babysitter, according to the Telegram chats. Writing.
Oh, great, he's a babysitter. Brilliant.
I was 18, he was 11. Little fat teased me for days, testing me out. I played it cool and not advancing until I got his Game Boy and got distracted.
He just used the F word. He just used the F word to describe an 11-year-old, right? Right. I mean, there's just something about this guy using a fucking derogatory slur on anyone,
Went straight to my. He literally got scared when it flopped.
I
off
cannot
his
imagine
face.
how
Thought
much
I
miserable it
slapped
was
him.
making this
In
fucking
another
video.
Telegram chat, the innocent Glowfox shared 20 pictures of dog. With a day passing, more people got interested
20?
in this zoo sadism. Now
Do you
we are on the
need
23rd
20
September.
pictures of
One
dog
person who got
sticks? I
outed
don't
went by
know.
the name of Cupid. Cupid wasn't involved in the chats, but was mentioned throughout. And on the 23rd of September, Cupid's docs got dropped. The reason
Unsolicited
this Cupid fellow
dog
was of
dick
personal interest
pics.
to both you listeners and those
There's a
involved in
fucking-
zoo sadist leaks is because Cupid got caught doing something naughty. He got caught for animal cruelty of a service dog.
Sexual assault
arrested
of a
in
therapy
2015.
dog.
Due to the
It's like
injustice
fucking a
faced,
guide
more
dog.
information came out about him. People found his Ink Bunny account, and that he also went by the name Butney. Another important detail was uncovered in the leaked chat, and was pointed out on the 23rd, and that is a discussion between Wolf and Snake Thing about time difference. You see, it was already uncovered that Snake Thing was from Oregon, and the time difference in chat was determined to be a 3-hour difference, and this information could help those looking for Wolf's info. Also on this day, the owner of the husky who f***ed him in a fursuit was identified as Corey TWC Wolf. I am not sure how they identified him,
TWC
however. The
Wolf.
discovery of who this fursuiter was led to more information of him being discovered, that being his real name, along with his birthday, which led to his DeviantArt account. On his DeviantArt account included pictures
Oh
of
my
places
god,
he's been to.
DeviantArt,
As
Jesus
his YouTube
Christ.
channel, also his Gay Beast account, along
Gay
with his
Beast.
Twitch.
There's a
My
there's a
favorite
website
arc
called
in this
Gay
online
Beast.
Investigation happened as well on this day,
Christ
September
almighty.
23rd, 2018.
I live on my
And
own. I
the
would have to
people
look over
on
my
his
shoulder
farm
before I click
set
there.
out on a mission to dox some kids.
No, there is a
Okay,
bottom. I mean, it
let me
ends
explain
eventually.
better.
Got
In the
about
logs,
3
there
hours
was not
left.
much information to find on Wolf besides seeing his hands do unspeakable things to animals. But there was one thing.
This is clever,
that
I
Wolf
like this.
liked to go to a place for dessert. And people began to try to find the place Wolf got a piece of
That
cake
picture
from.
of
And
cake
the picture of a cake
is where they
with a
how they
piece
tried
of
to
lettering
track
on
this
the
guy
place
down.
visible.
That is
The hunt
genius.
was
I love
on.
that.
There was also something else besides cake found on Wolf, and that was that Wolf might be a Spanish speaker. One person on the forums writes, "Has anyone noticed yet?
What,
that
was he
Wolf
fucking
appears
a
to
dog in
have
a sombrero?"
Firefox set to Spanish language mode? He's not using the Tor browser either, so a record of his real IP address is probably present in the onion.link server logs." This comment was followed up with an image of the chat where Wolf shared a screen cap of his Firefox browser. So back to the cake hunt. People began looking closer at this cake. Not only that, but also at the decor
Used
of
to
the
be used for
location,
pranks.
the
Well, it
spoons,
ain't now.
the bowls. They were determined to dox this cake. Yeah, I know, it's technically not what doxing means. People were combing through dessert places willy-nilly and comparing pictures. While looking through cake pictures, people also combed further through Cory the Wolf TWC, aka Elite Knight's DeviantArt, to find out more clues of where he lived. While this was going on, we are still on the 23rd of September again. The
Day
original
3.
leakers put out a new Telegram channel and was steadily releasing more files on more individuals involved in the show, along with answering questions through a burner account. At this time, they were forwarding more messages to the channel that can actively be traced to Kira's deleted account. New individuals
Jesus Christ,
being
Nixon
released
didn't have
are
this
were
much
Mr.
fucking
Beast
evidence lying
and
around.
Sanji Nativis. In the Telegram, someone asks, "Why did you pick these accounts? Are there more?" They reply, "These were the most obvious offenders, and probably the most critical to inform the fandom about. Yes, there are more. They will not be released at this time." Another person asks, "Do you have logs of other animal abusers unrelated to this?" They answer, "Yes, I doubt it is of interest. Most aren't furs, and this channel is focused on this incident. This channel has a specific purpose."
I doubt it.
Also on this day, the user Cepheus got doxxed. It turned out Cepheus lived in Austria.
Good, I
With
hope
these new
fucking
logs being
Al-Qaeda
dropped,
find him.
New ones involving Sanji. People looked further into this Sanji Nativis fellow, and it turned out he was very well known, and very involved in the furry fandom. We'll get into that in a little bit. Because of these new drops, people also began posting combos about this new person, Mr. Bitch Tits. The logs being
Mr.
looked
Bitch
through
Tits.
now got even darker than animal torture. A conversation between Sanji and Snake Thing was posted later on in the day on September 23rd, involving the sexual exploitation of the underage, in which Snake Thing tells Sanji about what he calls a cub group. In one of the logs, Snake Thing forwards a
Listen to
conversation
this.
about an underage
Oh,
group
God.
from a user named Iggy, who writes, "So I had a fun with night, and they were not my age. So I was in my house laying on a couch half naked in a jock, and turned over, and this little black kid was staring at me through the glass door that leads to the patio. So I opened the door and asked him to come in, and I said sure. We talked on the couch. He said that it was very hot, which was I don't turn on the AC on, so he took off his pants and shirt, and we sat there naked talking. I started to rub his leg, then I rubbed his stomach. He then decided to kiss my hand, and after that, put his clothes back on, and had to go home." And Snake Thing replied to that.
Thank
A
God.
cub group, P.
Sanji responds,
Cute.
In another conversation between Sanji and Snake Thing, they talk about Snake Thing taking advantage of an underage boy named, I believe this is his relative. In the conversation, Snake Thing talks about how he tried to get this child to suck his dick, to which Sanji replies,
I love your mom, but she apparently is still naive about you.
Really? Do you think?
Oh, she knows I have an interest in P stuff. She's not naive.
Why would your mum know that?
She's just way too busy in life to do much about it. P.
I'm too busy to fucking worry about my
As far as I
son
know,
being
I think
fucking
she
kids.
thinks you keep me in line. XD.
Snake Thing, detailing his alleged grooming of this boy, did not end here. In the conversation, after some back and forth about allegedly grooming underage people, Sanji is obviously uncomfortable with the conversation, which he elaborated why by writing,
Thank
By the
God,
way,
someone in there.
Jealousy. Why I'm upset.
"Some
Jealousy,
more information
you
on Sanji
fucking
began to
cunt.
come out. Sanji
I
is the
thought one of you had a
creator
bit
and
of
lead
fucking
admin
decency
Infiltration,
there.
a website that sells prints of furry art, body pillows, comics, and books. A portion of these sales goes to creators. Sanji has also gotten into legal trouble for, according to him, talking to someone who wasn't of the appropriate age over the internet.
You don't
Someone on Twitter
say.
called him out at one point, writing, "So furries, we need to talk. I
Has
stayed
he ever
quiet on
talked
this
to
as
someone of the
fear for a long
appropriate
time,
age?
But Inked Fur is a horde company run by a twice convicted who treats his artists like trash. Sanji's also very publicly open about his love for
Twice
Cub.
convicted
Here's
pedophile
something
was
he
enough,
wrote
you
on
know.
a public website. He writes, "I love Cub, and I hope to see some boy cups from you very soon. Heart." Someone on the forums did a little more digging and found 3 mugshots.
Look at that fucking gormless fucking monster.
Record 1 was from September 11th,
God
2008.
almighty.
Record number 2 was from February 11th, 2008. Record number 3 was all
Look
the way
at the
back
state
in
of that
December
fucking
2006.
gimp.
However, according to Sanji, a skilled attorney got his criminal record expunged in 2018.
Info kept flooding in on all of those involved. Next,
Skilled
he was
attorney.
looking
Fuck, I
into
bet
the
it was Alan
individuals, found out
Dershowitz.
more
It's
on the
always
fellow
Alan
in the chat by
Dershowitz.
the name of Emberwolf, and the fact that he had a diaper fetish. Also, an interesting event was dug up while looking into Emberwolf.
Well, a diaper
An
fetish
event
is
referred
convenient
to
when
as
you're
the
fucking
421
kids, isn't it?
incident.
Yeah.
The same day as this info was dug up, some other chat logs came into the spotlight, this time featuring Cepheus and Snake Thing. These chat logs included Cepheus talking about being fucked by his own dog, and also provided pictures of the act. where
Brilliant.
Cepheus was
I'd have
in
just taken his word for it. Yeah.
Cepheus decided that despite all the evidence, he was still innocent, writing on his Facebook, "To all who believe any garbage from the internet, fuck you all. All my friends who know me know that I would never do such a thing. Thanks
They
to
don't
that
know
Hero
you,
the Wolf
mate.
for the video." Next, a conversation between Snake Thing and Emberwolf was posted to the forums, highlighting the degenerate acts of Ember with dogs. These logs also included Ember sharing videos of
A
bestiality.
fisting a dog
One video
there.
titled fistingdog.mp4 and another video titled horse and wolf suicide.mp4 and another video titled feetpawdog.mp4. People investigating the logs began to hone in on the one person most involved in all of the conversations, Snake Thing. It was already known that Snake Thing was from Oregon. Pics began dropping of Snake Thing's actual identity.
They all look
Also,
they're all these
second name
fucking
that came to light,
but you know,
Nozar, was also looked into.
they're all
and
these
counted
weaselly
in
looking
total.
fucking
Not only
greasy
that, but
twats
the relationship between Snake Thing
with
and
big
Sandy
ears and
were traced
pointy
back to
noses.
as far as 2015. More details of their relationship will come to light as people dig further.
See ya.
Also, one of his DeviantArt accounts was found featuring an actual name, Levi Simmons. This led to
Levi.
more information of Snake Thing, aka Levi, being dug up, including his possible high school and his Facebook and family. What was worrying about this discovery was that it was found out the amount of children and animals Levi had access to. Digging further into the Austrian dog humper, Cepheus.
The Austrian dog humper. Imagine that is one of your fucking pseudonyms you've been given.
The entry on Cepheus read,
I want that on my
Cepheus
tombstone.
wears his suit
Here
out in
lies the
public.
Austrian
PDF,
dog
puzzle,
humper.
And medieval outings, particularly in Austria and Germany. He posts these images in Telegram groups from his own account. He tries to keep it hush-hush, because as you can plainly see in my evidence, he wears the same costume out in public
tries to
that
keep-
in Germany, and is considered under the law to be animal abuse. You can see
Is
the
it
same
really? Well,
suit
fucking
and
I would hope
dog
so.
in the collection I've gathered. Watch out for him at conventions. Do not let this man around your pets. He is a popular suitor in the Europe scene. There was one entry in the
Don't
log
go
that
anywhere
brings
where
me
that
to
fucker
disgusted
would be
tears
fucking
every time I read it.
socialising with
It's
you,
an
quite
image
frankly.
of a wooden stake covered in fire ants that the user Wolf claimed that he had inserted
Fuck
into
off,
his puppy.
Naji.
It's
Just
beyond
literally,
vile. But this
fuck
image
off.
led to a clue to people trying to identify him, and that is
Off you
that
fuck.
fire ants are only in a few areas. Another piece of information was dug up from the chat logs. A piece where Snake Thing provided a list of other zoophiles. These people are Blue Wolf, Anubis.
Oh, look, there's another dozen of the
Hart,
cunts.
Psychedelic
How many
Favor,
are there?
Ruffa, Stormy Kale Shep, Meekrat45, and SVX Kitty. Now, this is only from Snake Thing's word, so unless evidence is brought out against these people, please refrain from attacking them. Some
Nope.
really important information on the nature of the leaks came out on the Reddit r/drama on or around the 23rd of September.
Oh, Reddit,
This
brilliant, here we
information
are.
came from a zoophile. I don't know much about this fellow, but the comment on r/drama read, "As your local resident zoo, this was
Your
pretty
local
interesting to
resident
watch it
zoo.
all from behind the scenes. My friend is the guy who posted the massive Zoo Sadist Docs compilation on this guy and others, having spent 2 years of infiltration to get into this ring. And I've seen all the evidence for myself. Actually, the worst animal abuse I've viewed on the internet by far. Put this into perspective. A flayed dog wasn't even the worst picture in the log.
A flayed-
also, at least
flayed
15
dog.
to 20% of furries are zoophiles. I don't like them though. Furry is zoophile blackface. They write in
Did
another
you hear
comment,
that?
"The
Can I
worst
just
picture
stop
of
that?
little
Because that
dogs
was an amazing fucking piece of, like, professional victimhood there. This cunt, this fucking admitted local resident zoophile, just sat there and complained that furry is zoophile blackface. Well, tough fucking shit, say I.
head, and then a completely horrifically mutilated torso, leaving only a spinal cord and scraps of core behind, then 2 intact legs. I have no idea if an animal or a human did it. This person Mage Hunter was an obvious zoophile, which is technically different from a zoo sadist, but still deplorable.
Yeah, really, is
that
it?
Little squiggly line
Right.
there is a symbol for being a zoophile, just FYI. Back to the Kiro investigation. Again, we are still only on the 23rd of September.
Again, day
People
3,
went through
still
the
on day
evidence
3.
pile and matched the Telegram Kiro's dog up to the public Kiro's dog, Coda. Not only was the dog lining up, but the veins
See?
on Kiro's wrist
Same
were
teeth.
as well. So not only
They're now
were
doing the
suspects
dog's
compared,
dental
but
records,
people also
you know.
compared Kiro's decor in his room to Telegram Kiro. In the archive, there is one picture of a body pillow on Kiro's bed. This is during a period around
A
July
body pillow. Of
2017,
course he's got a
when
fucking
Kiro had
body
what
pillow.
appeared to be a mattress on the floor, and he made a few videos with his setup. The position and design of the decor, matching tartan pattern on the blanket, and one of the two big blue body pillows being partially visible. And of course, the subject matter makes it clear the photo belongs to Kiro. This is a still from the unboxing video. Not only did all of what I previously mentioned about Kiro align, but Kiro probably had an obsession with dogs' mouths, aka Malls.
Oh,
Kiro's
God.
Flickr account was found under his alt name,
Everyone's
Kiro
got a
Yamimura,
personality,
so you
ain't
can
they?
see Kiro's old persona. Kiro never publicly uploaded images on it, but the images in his favorites are.
Oh look, it's all of dogs' mouths. That's a
Kiro
normal thing to
also
fucking
publicly
upload, isn't
talked
it?
about being a fan of Moz and Vor. Kiro was also publicly involved in multiple groups that were centered around mouth shots of dogs on Flickr. While this was all going on, a friend of Glowfox's appeared in Glowfox's QB thread to defend him. This person's name is Coast. In Glowfox's defense, Coast claimed that Glowfox was only guilty of being involved with the wrong people.
Oh,
Including a
fuck
conversation
off.
he had with
You
both
can
the leaders
log
of the
out
program
anytime you
and
want.
with
This is the
Glowfox's
internet, you
boyfriend,
piece of
Glowfox.
shit.
In the chat, Glowfox claimed to not be a zoo sadist. Also, that Glowfox just happened to be in a chat with Snake Thing talking about zoophilia.
Yeah,
The forum users
yeah,
proceeded to
it
ask his
happens
friend
to me
provide
all the
some
time,
evidence
you know.
that Glowfox was innocent, but Coast was unable to do so. Coast proceeded to claim that Glowfox's chats about babysitting were a reference to an event involving Glowfox and a close friend when Glowfox was 14 and the friend was
Well, he didn't
12.
say that. He
And
said
Glowfox
18,
claimed
didn't he?
they had a
So,
consensual sexual
fuck
time.
off.
Coast even posted a
I
conversation
would get those
about being
ages right.
shocked
You know,
to
I
find
would
out
correct
Glowfox
that.
was part of the leaks. People on the farms were not convinced of Glowfox's innocence. The evidence in the chat logs against him were pretty damning, especially the screenshots from Glowfox's computer that implicated him being the same person who was talking to Snake Thing. I've gone through a few of Glowfox's convos from the logs, but one I had not seen until now came to my attention. One where Glowfox talked about underage people at cons. Glowfox writes,
Cute. What else you got? You think I'm not aware of the underage parties at cons?
Underage parties, oh god.
I got a lot of stuff. Depends on what you want to see right now. And you know of something
Oh
like
yeah,
that?
you're Morgan Freeman in
equals
Shawshank, mate.
O.
and Glowfox responded,
I talked to the young that goes to those parties. He always gets gangbanged while his dad overlooks. Wants to try mine badly.
Snake Thing just says,
God damn. That's so damn cool.
No,
information being dug up
fuck that.
moved
That's
extremely
cool. Yeah.
quickly, and we moved to the 24th of September 2018. Thanks to the name Levi being found on DeviantArt, one person searched through the logs to find Levi's official full name, Levi Dane Simmons. The whole deep dive through the links
Dane.
is like
Why does he not call himself the Great
but it
Dane?
did get
It's
worse.
right
Wolf
fucking
by far
there.
was the most disturbed individual in this
That
group.
makes me
He
hate him
produced
even
a lot
more.
of
He's got a
disgusting
fuck, you know.
and murder-filled content. But Elite Knight, aka Corey the Wolf TWC, his Snake Thing came in a close second up to this point. That was, until a chat log between Levi, aka Snake Thing, and Sanji was uncovered on the 24th. In the chat log,
Day
Sanji
4.
warned Snake Thing he will tell his mother of him trying to be sexual with underage people. In Snake Thing's words, he was seducing younglings, and Sanji, in part of the chat, states that Snake Thing had seduced younglings that very day, the day of this chat. So not only are these people actively engaging in horrific abuse of animals, they also go after children. It also came to the attention of those looking into this that Snake Thing listed his interests as involving something called RLC, which stands for Real Life Cub.
Real
In the
Life
furry community
Cubs.
is a term for underage, pointing to once again that Snake Thing's interests were not just fantasies. He was into the real thing. Because of the conversations mentioned in Cupid in the past, people began looking into the person as well, finding tweets from earlier that year. One reading, "Hey, since all of you are going after people drawing art and not talking about actual abusers, how about we talk about at Cupid the Deer, who 11 of my mutuals are following and probably have no idea about the he's done." They continue to write, literally admits to being his dog and abuses someone for not having sex with him, and this shit gets blown over / not talked about because he has a cute fursuit. that shit. This is shit people should know. Back to the Kiro investigation.
I love the fact
Thanks to
she's
information
censoring out the
gathered
bad
on Kiro
language.
Wolf, the Farms was able to find out
Possibly the
location
least
of his
offensive
childhood home.
fucking
This
thing in
could
this
possibly be important
because this is
due to
going to
the
get
fact that Kiro
monetized,
grew up
isn't it?
surrounded by woods, which would give him access to plenty of wildlife to play with. Not only that, but finding shots of his home could help those investigating line up the photos of the sexually abused dog that looked like Coda from the telegram. Remember how I said this whole deep dive is a big, oh, but it does get worse?
Oh yeah,
On
see, she said,
24th of September
that's where it's
2018, another disturbing chat log was put out into the public from this massive archive, this time between Snake Thing and Tame, aka Digivolve. In the chat, the two talk about going to a house party and drugging and f***ing someone. The conversation got even worse, as the two discussed how they wanted this alleged victim up and in a suit, even going so far as to discuss who to invite who would be okay doing this to the victim while drugged. I don't think this
Imagine
is
going through your friends list. Who'd be up for this? Who'd be up for arse raping someone unconscious?
This situation really had thrown a lot of horrible things into the furry community. Also on this day, a furry joined the forums on Kiwi Farms to give insight, writing. Okay, so I'm a furry in the Pittsburgh area. A pretty involved one too. The kind of guy who always attends the meetups almost every month.
Loser.
This whole controversy has divided a lot of people here. The people I once respected are now doing everything in their power to delude themselves into believing this is all an elaborate hoax. I met Kiro several times, even partied with him at Wapafa. We weren't close friends or anything, but still, it's hard to imagine someone you've had direct contact with was into this kind of depravity. But it does get worse. Another chat log was dug up at this time between Glowfox and Snake Thing, about taking femboys on as slaves. Glowfox says,
Not young ones, though, just femboys and thirsty fat.
Snake Thing replies,
My best friend messaged me to meet a few youngins around 11 to 16 that were interested, though he's too afraid to sneak some fun in with them. I enable him as much as possible, though.
Good for
Glowfox
you,
responds,
Hehe, I have a friend into the dark market.
Really? Less than 3?
He says his boss gets him little ones to train so they can sell them as slaves.
The conversation goes further into them talking about sex slavery.
Have you ever
and
considered the company you keep,
market.
Duff?
The worst part of this conversation was, A, they talked about sex slavery, and B, they talked about their need for more child porn. But oh no, they didn't want unwilling underage sex slaves. These two wanted one who would, in their words, love the dick. The conversation continued. Snake Thing writes,
Oh wow. O equals O. I'm curious who it is, XD. Damn, that's intense. Ow, yee. I know what you mean there. I have a passing interest in harder stuff, though it's
A passing
not as if
interest?
I can't not paw to it. XD,
Harder stuff
I like
than this.
soft
This is
stuff
like...
too. Yeah, that's definitely true.
some more information came out in the chat on Kira's alleged ex-boyfriend, Il-1 Chubby Paws.
I don't want to know what harder stuff
A Kiwi
is.
farmer writes, Il-1 Chubby Paws / White Shepherd is the dead boyfriend, apparently. So this bit is probably not too relevant anymore, but I won't dirty delete it.
Dead boyfriend,
The second
good.
thing I found is someone
Hope he
named
died of
Il-1 Chubby
shame.
Paws on Telegram, also being White Shepherd on Animals Dark Paradise. Snake Thing claims to be close friends with them, so it's only safe to assume this White Shepherd person is probably just as f***ed up. Then they show a conversation where they talk about Il-1 Chubby Paws. Tane writes,
At Island's Chubby Paws, is White Shepherd on ADP?
Snake Thing responds,
That he is, 3. He's a good bud of mine. Known him for months.
So in this chat,
A good bud you've known
it's
from a
revealed
fucking
that the
hell.
man that Kira had been dating was active and recognizable on the deep web website Animals Dark Paradise. Another key came to those looking into Wolf's identity, the fauna in his video. People began identifying all the past knowledge that they had of Wolf, his time zone, and the fire ants, and the Spanish
Fire
people.
ants,
This
yeah.
narrowed down their search
He wasn't
to
fucking
Florida,
fire ants,
Georgia,
it's just
South
where- that's
Carolina,
where he
or
lives.
North Carolina. They had also discovered from the chat that Wolf possibly did electrical work. With this information, one person suggested they look at the pictures to identify plant life in order to see where
We're looking
Wolf
for an
might be
electrician
located. While looking to see who the real identity of Wolf
who
was,
bangs
people
dogs
also
on the
began
side.
to hone in on the identity of Elite Knight, aka Corey TWC, the man who a husky with while in a fursuit. Somehow from the information they had got a last name, at first mistakenly getting his father's name. The last name, Nichols. They got a name of a woman with the same
Nichols,
last name
brilliant,
from
of course
Florida,
it was.
which also matched up to a Reddit post from r/Tampa that Corey had posted to 2 years ago. The hunt
Jesus
for wolves
Christ.
continued, now using the plant life to look into him more closely. One person posted images of wolf, censored, doing inexplicable things to animals with his hand. I won't go into detail, but from those photos, it appeared that wolf was either white or white passing. While this was going on, more information on Tane, aka Digivolve, was found. These included his Ko-Fi, and when poking through his Twitter, a farmer found out his birthday was January 15th. Also, they found a rough idea of his age from tweets about
I love
meeting in
shit
high
like
school
this.
in
This is like,
2012.
I love
Also
people
on the
who just
24th, Connor Goodwolf, someone who had been actively involved
obsess
in the
over these
investigation,
details
tweeted out
and
that
find
he
it,
was in contact with both detectives and a news station writing, "I called at 10 TV, and they're
It's
going
worth
to
remembering,
request a report in a day
you'll
or so
never
after the detective
fucking,
looks through everything."
anyone will
Also on the
find you out.
24th, Connor Goodwolf posted a video of him turning in the Zoosatus evidence.
Look at that
He some
fucking
kind of authority
knob.
to YouTube. Don't ask me why I recorded this, but it's there. More furries, whether they be former fans of Kiro or furries disgusted by the logs, came to the Kiwi Farms forums to help wade through the information and give their insights into the furry community. One furry wrote to the Kiwi Farms on September 24th.
I give a shit what they
I came to
think.
Kiwi Farms as a furry and former fan of Kiro to investigate the accusations leveled against Kiro. I believed from the very start, to mere moments ago, the possibility that Kiro may still be innocent. Not anymore. We've come this far, backed our claims with mountains of evidence, and all the defenders can muster in defense is...
Bear in mind, at this stage, Kiro the Wolf has said nothing. We're 5 days into this. Imagine this.
Finally, we got a more in-depth look into Kiro's ex.
Imagine this going on and someone saying
on the
nothing.
24th as well. So we find out that Sheppy Paws died of a heroin poisoning on Friday, July 13th,
Good.
2018. At
I
28
hope it was
years of
fucking
age.
shit
Sheppy had a history of drug
gear as
abuse
well.
and sexual
I
deviance,
hope it was bleach and
sending
it burnt his
nude
veins
parties and
out.
homemade bestiality content to the internet. A week later, his friends discover what happened. After having no contact for so long, and began to mourn him within various Telegram conversations. One of the conversations was from Kiro, having found out his e-boyfriend had passed. Kiro writes,
I found out what happened. I'm literally crying. I haven't stopped. On Friday, after his day stuff, he got his hands on some weed and some heroin. The heroin was laced. I really hate to say, but he died. They found him on Sunday.
Another conversation between Wolf and Snake Thing read, Wolf says,
"Are you there? Ill One has passed away."
Yay!
Frowny face.
Snake Thing responds,
"Yeah, I'm here."
I hope a pack of
I
duck
know,
coyotes
greater
ate his
than
fucking
colon.
body.
Asterisk
Shat him out
holds
everywhere.
on to asterisks.
Around the same date as these conversations,
Kiro made a tweet mourning his boyfriend, who he referred to as Colwyn Collie. Over a week
Oh,
later,
fucking-
Kiro released a video mentioning his relationship and the death, and it contained newly commissioned artwork with a character from Twitter artist Cozy Collie.
Oh,
And
God, I'm gonna
important
be
things that
fucking
tied the
sick.
two identities together, both his Ilwan Sheppy Paws online persona and his real-life persona, Kevin, was the memorial page for Kevin, who was someone who died on July 13th, 2018. On the obituary page for it are comments from the following people.
July.
George Schwartz, which is another alias
We're in
of Wolf's
September,
that we'll find out
remember.
later in the timeline. But most important is a comment from someone called Willow, who is a transgender friend of Ilwan, who put an in memoriam message on their Fur Affinity page for Niklo. Niklo is a very old alias of Ilwan.
July.
This is evidence
We're in
through a YouTube
September,
account
remember?
that links the two identities through URL and display name. More damningly, both Willow and Shiro Okami / Shiropup show up in both Ilwan's Steam friend list and Niklo's Fur Affinity comments mourning his death. So, we have two people mourning Kevin, a guy who died on the 13th of July, also posting comments to Ilwan's accounts and having public connections to him in the same time frame. On the other hand, there's Kiro mourning the death of Colwyn Collie, who died on the same day, in the same hometown, of the same cause
Nailed
of
it.
death. What it turns out to be is that Colwyn Collie never existed. Googling
There you go.
Colwyn Collie will
He even
see
made up his
nothing
own
but
boyfriend,
Kiro's
the
video and
fucking
tweets
loser.
by Kiro, but nothing else. He had no profiles, no references, or anything.
No, the
This
drug
was
dealer
all
didn't
clearly an
exist, that's
alias
what we know.
Created by Kiro, so he could talk about the issue.
He
publicly
invented the whole
without being
fucking
traced
thing.
back
He
to
used
Ilwan.
someone
Not
who'd
only
already
that,
died.
There are more conversations from the leaked chats that
Create
link
a
Sheppy
fake
Paws
fucking
back to
relationship.
Animal's dark paradise. In one chat, Tane replies,
"'Cause white shepherd dog that has the same icon as the forum user, XD."
Also on this date, September 24th, the furry news website Dogpatch
Dog
released an
Patch,
article on
fuck
this
it, the
dumpster
furry
fire.
news
It further detailed
website.
how
What
the
news
focus
is
turned
it?
towards Kiro the Wolf due to his popularity, and how people hopped on board to defend him. But the most interesting aspect of this article, at least to me, was a section that directly responded to those who thought Kiro was indeed hacked. Dogpatch Press responds to this by writing, "The most popular defense I looked at reached no insight more profound than HTML is editable, missing the fact that evidence of messaging exists server-side inside Telegram.
You can't
not
edit
client-side.
Telegram, my
Then
friend.
there was absurd garbage takes about screenshots having usual JPEG compression as if that showed editing. Others tried to shoot down decontextualized fragments, such as how a single video attributed to one person wasn't him. It actually came from sharing, but not being in all videos wouldn't clear someone of deep complicity. These were such reasons.
It was still a video shared in that chat. I would leave that chat.
This is crucial. Animals can't talk, so their abuse may never come out, especially if evidence
Not that we
is
know
exposed or untraceable. Authorities may consider this too low level for follow-up. That would go to human abuse. But we all know this is horrible beyond words. And for the people who did it, it's part of a spectrum that can eventually lead to much worse. The dark triad of behavior. If that sounds like a slippery
Start with
slope
animals,
or thought crime type argument, ask yourself if you would let people into this stuff babysit your pet. No? Then we have an issue beyond a crime issue.
I wouldn't
It's
go
not
to a
disagreement.
convention
This
where
stuff
1 in
is
4
universally
people were
scary
probably
bad.
into this
so this
shit.
isn't just for cops. It's a social issue. How this fandom handles members remorselessly animals to death or gives them a pass will be a test beyond any other that has ever happened here. The evidence against Kiro continued. Next, people began comparing the snap maw of Kiro's dog, Coda, to the telegram Kiro's dog pictures, lining the pictures up. The dogs were nearly identical. Plenty of unknown furries continued to support Kiro, demanding his innocence.
Who the
But one
fuck's
furry
that
YouTuber with a
fucking
decent
knob?
following, Nose Hyena, disavowed Kiro on the 24th via Twitter. He
Okay,
wrote,
he's fine.
I don't think it's appropriate that Kiro the Wolf should even think about returning to YouTube. I'm speaking up today as a furry YouTuber. I do not
Returning to
fully believe
YouTube is the
this
least of the fucking
If I'm
worries.
right,
He shouldn't
it's
be
a horrible
walking the
look for furries.
streets.
He should do the right thing and leave.
He should be
He
locked
continues
up
to
in a
write, "I'm
fucking
afraid
cage
we're
and
avoided
left
as a
there.
fandom of a very uncomfortable reality.
Fucking starved
I don't want
to
to
death.
believe someone is capable of acts of abuse, but people are, and there's multiple furs implicated in the leaks. Most disappeared, while Kiro's publicly denied involvement. Why is that? Kiro publicly denied because YouTube is his job. Everyone else accused in the pseudonym
Well,
leak
guess what?
seemed
Get
to
another
disappear
fucking
/ go
job.
silent. Only the ats before is a zoo are accused. If this was a fabrication, why did no one else accused deny publicly?
You can have YouTube as a job, or you can fuck animals, mate. These are the choices you got to make in life.
The telegram from the leaks. Nose Hyena writes above this video, one of Kiro's big claims is that he was hacked. However, that doesn't explain how forwarded messages from the group, forwarded through several people to a friend to me, belong to its unique Telegram user ID. Look at her messages.
Also, how would you fake 2 years
of
of chat logs and not fucking notice?
Kiro also claimed to be hacked, ostensibly, after the leaks came out. Doesn't add up. Nose Hyena concluded his thought on Kiro by writing, "There are more important things than clout. I built a platform, and I'm using it now. This is about right or wrong for me. I would love to believe the ideal scenario, but I'm not there. I feel sick. I hope some of my friends will stick by me for this. Signing out, Nose Hyena." These tweets meant that Nose Hyena was one of multiple people to prove that the messages originated from Kiro's accounts. Our favorite furry Kiro defending gal decided to announce that she would be doing a video defending Kiro on the 24th.
Brilliant.
This would end up backfiring.
That's the hill you're going to
Enough
die
evidence
on,
was
babe.
piling up to identify and talk about Snake Thing on this day. So Snake Thing received his own Kiwi farm thread. The OP of this thread read, "The leakers gained access to his Telegram account and dropped years
Look
worth
at
of
all
logs
this
in which
fucking
Levi
shit.
participates in the sexual abuse of animals and children, including his own nephews. Levi has sexually abused his
Oh,
nephews.
incest as
Talked
well.
about
Let's
it with
chuck
fellow
incest
furry
on there. Anyone have
James,
incest on the
Sandy,
bingo?
and Hoyt. It appears Levi shared child porn with James as well, possibly of said nephews. Full logs between Levi and James can be found here. Then they link a mega upload. These are free from zoo sadism photos and videos. As far as I can tell, the images folder is just Telegram icons. One of the conversations posted to the OP of the thread was not one I had discussed so far. In this conversation, Snake Thing and Sanji discuss needing a kid to
You really do need a
Let's
kid to
try
fuck.
redacted and hump his butt. :D. JK, JK, JK.
Not really, though,
I
is
don't
it?
think drugs would be needed.
Snake Thing responds,
I don't think drugs would be needed.
Perhaps.
There's a fucking
They may
disturbing
not,
sentence.
Although it'd loosen him up a bit so you can enter him a lot easier.
Not only
Jesus
this conversation,
fucking
but Snake Thing goes
God,
into
these
even more
people.
detail of his sexual abuse and grooming of his young relatives. This convo gets worse. I honestly don't want to get my video age restricted. Just trust me. These two go into hypotheticals and whatnot about having sexual relationships with, if I'm reading this stuff correctly, a 9-year-old? Snake Thing's chats about taking advantage
Well, we're
of
into
actual
single
children
digits now.
are not secluded to chats between him and Sanji. He also detailed his interest in children in chats with Tane, aka Digivolve. Throughout the logs, Levi can be seen cheering on various acts of cruelty to animals, including brutal murder and bragging about raping animals himself. He even claims to have raped a 12-week-old puppy in a conversation with Ember.
Oh,
And not only
fucking
that,
hell.
he also had a conversation
12
with Ember about
weeks.
taking a dog to a hotel and drugging and raping it. Snake
Taking
is
it to
not
a
an underage
hotel? Oh,
stuff only.
Jesus
No,
Christ.
no. He's a sick degenerate. Logs from a chat between him and Cepheus Revendare also dropped in the OP of the Snake Thing Kiwi Farms thread that show that Snake Thing is also into Crush, an illegal
Oh my god, this is
where
fucked up.
on a small animal, crushing it to death. In the chats, we also
This is
has multiple dogs.
What they're talking about there is a thing called Crush, which is a video. It's this weird fucking video genre where people just like they put on big heavy work boots and step on small animals and kill them. And that's, so like they'll step on like they'll step on things. They'll step on a frog or a lizard or a hamster and they'll just kill it on that And that's a thing people like watch. It's called I mean. Isn't it enough? Yeah.
3 puppies die on my
3 puppies die.
After this, Seffi shared horrific videos and images of animals being crushed alive by human feet. These people are f***ing disgusting. The logs between Snake Thing and Wolf were even more disturbing. I've already gone through some of them, but in one chat between Wolf and Snake Thing, Wolf details a time he dismembered a pit bull and f***ed a dog with a bat.
Oh,
the
for
details of the act is really a no-go. I can't read this on YouTube. And horrific. And yet Snake Thing responded with,
"Very nice. Would love to see that."
Back to the Wolf investigation. There was finally a new lead in the world of Doxxing Wolf's cake on the 25th of September. Someone identified it as probably Coconut Flan. This led to people looking for more cake places, as Coconut Flan is not a
I love there's a whole army of people looking for cakes.
On the dessert when someone on that same day pointed out that Wolf also got apple ice cream at that dessert shop. So now people looked for places in the area that matched the foliage, had fire ants, and had dessert places that had apple ice cream and Coconut Flan. People used the image of the cake to figure out what the dessert shop was. On the 25th, one user of the forum gave a list of the shops they ruled out. Also on the 25th, the Telegram Zoo Status Evidence dropped some files for Jace Shepherd and Paquito Dingo. 2 videos concerning Paquito included a video of a dog being and the other video showed Paquito jerking off to the first video. Paquito
oh my god almighty!
Him by uploading a clipped version of the same video to
here's me raping a dog. Here's me jacking off to that video of me raping a dog.
And then pans away from. The search for Wolf continued to narrow slightly inch by inch as minutes and days passed. One person used the image of the plants in Wolf's video to identify them as flowering dogwood, which let one person narrow down the counties he
It would be flowering dogwood, wouldn't it?
The next question was, did this county have the right ice cream places? People began contacting ice cream places with images of the dessert to see if it was them, and narrowing it down by figuring out which ones it wasn't. And place by place, they determined which places were not the place. We learned another thing on the 25th about Wolf, and that is that it was mentioned on a few occasions that Wolf had a fox persona. Wolf also seemed to have a regular work schedule.
He's got a cunt persona.
He claimed at some point in the logs to live somewhere with Eastern times. Those looking into him took note that he was typically messaging Snake Thing around 7 to 8 a.m. and then messaging again after work.
Well, imagine talking about this shit first thing in the morning.
Informed everyone that the police were indeed involved, writing.
Imagine waking up and having cornflakes and this is your fucking first conversation.
The story spoke to me about innocent people being affected and wanted this shared with a note that police are involved, and it's best not to interfere with that. And attached was a message. Connor Goodwolf also gave an update on his Twitter, writing, "The detective has been off since Saturday. Her weekdays are Wednesday through Thursday. She may not show up today, and we must wait until Friday before she evaluates the evidence and who to contact outside of the jurisdiction." The day passes, and we now enter the 26th of December.
Day
after the leaks got
day
out.
6.
Something amazing happened on this day. Something I witnessed as it happened and was in utter shock. After a few days of searching, the cafe Wolf went to get his sweet treats was found. Despite everyone thinking Wolf was from Florida, he was actually from, can you guess it? Cuba. And
good, chuck him in Guantanamo.
Most likely from Havana, Cuba. This sparked a gigantic behind-the-scenes investigation that was later detailed, and it was amazing. We're gonna get into that later on, so stay tuned. On the Ashley Zoe Fox front, she continued her Kira Defense Squad by uploading a now-deleted video around the 26th. After this, Ashley continued her Kira Defense Force on Twitter, writing, "As a follow-up to my previous tweet, in addition, anyone that posts a negative reply to me in regards to this situation will be blocked.
Oh no.
I am done with this. I have laid out all the facts, and I have shown proof, and Kiro is innocent. These Kiro
I'm taking down the video and all my tweets so nobody can see it and I don't have to be associated."
As well. The conversation between Mr. and Snake Thing, discussing going camping and drugging and the wildlife. Then another conversation was let out between the two, where Snake Thing talks about videos of him getting oral to a puppy. the zoo sadist, Tane aka Digivolve, received a dedicated Kiwi thread on the 26th. The OP of the thread doxed his name and birthday as well as his address. His suit was then posted, which was a wolf of sorts, and it was revealed that he was also a mersuiter, which is, I believe, a fursuit that is made to have sex in. Also, his ink bunny was found, and his so furry, as well as his howler. In one of the chat logs, we hear of Tane's
his
plans.
howler.
Tane writes,
Limitations? Not really anything per se. I don't like guts/gore and stuff, but like blood, I don't care. IDK.
That guy's voice is brilliant, by the way. I think
So you don't mind torture / very hard stuff, but snuff, just for snuff's sake.
Oh yeah, it needs
like
to be alive
snuff
and
without
twitching
a
for me to
sexual thing
enjoy it.
it.
You know.
You don't
I need to
mind?
see it in
Holy
agony.
pee.
Tane responds,
I mean, depends on the torture, I guess. In general, I like things alive, and I cringe if someone took a knife to a dog. Like, I guess sexual torture is okay. Kind of hard to define, I guess.
Not really.
my favorite part of the chat logs between Snake Thing and Tane, favorite as in it interested and disgusted me, was when Snake Thing described how to go down the rabbit hole of degeneracy, writing.
Pretty much the same with me in that regard, besides the bug part, as in I like the general zoo stuff a lot. Yeah, you get into the mindset of, I wonder how far down this rabbit hole I can go before
Don't say
I
rabbit
literally
hole.
can't paw to something. Then you hit a wall, but you break it a while later. Then you hit another wall, then you break it, and you just keep going down and down until, well, you'll be
You're this
sitting there
cunt.
like in
You're getting this
in the
video
stomach
made
and
about
your
you on the
head's cut
internet.
off with a shoved up the throat, in the opposite way than it usually is. Semicolon P.
After Tane said he wasn't into dark stuff, Snake Thing proceeded to send him videos, because it didn't hurt to look though, just in case. The information on the member Emberwolf became enough for Emberwolf to get his own dedicated thread on the Kiwi Farms on September 26th. In the opening of the thread, we learn of his furry conventions that he attends. The author of this thread also goes into discussion between Snake Thing and Ember about drugging techniques and their plans to meet at a motel to sedate a dog to sexually assault it. The opening continues to write, Emberwolf is a deviant incarnate, and the logs include a lot of images from cub and zoophilia to diapers and water sports. This can be retrieved at your own risk via the hosted archive. There are also more than enough pictures of Ember giving himself a prolapse. It is worth noting
Anal
that the
prolapse.
logs are
Did you
only
hear
partial.
that?
A lot of content
Giving
was shared
himself
through Telegram's secret
anal
chat feature.
prolapse.
Upon finding out he was outed, Emberwolf promptly deleted most of his accounts. However, there was enough debris lying around to piece together a link to his real-life identity.
Imagine
We get that
shitting
Emberwolf
out your
is
own
one of his
fucking
aliases,
colon, your
even
own
linking
anus.
his F-list in the logs, despite this being deleted. Through his significant other, Chadla, we can get to uncover more of Emberwolf's identity, despite most of the tweets being deleted. We now know that Emberwolf is a fursuiter who frequents furry conventions in the Midwest, so let's fast forward to his Anthrocon account. A full dox was then shared of Emberwolf, including his name and address, and an alt name, Irolas, was discovered thanks to Kiwi Farms. We learned that Ember's husband, Chadla, who was not involved in the Zoo Sadist leaks, had deleted tweets mentioning Ember's whereabouts, which would allude to Chad most likely knowing of his husband's involvement. And now, we move to the next day, the 27th. Another log came to the public knowledge on the 27th. This one is where Snake Thing admits it's a turn-on to think about his dirtiest secrets being leaked. So
I hope you've got a fucking raging hard on, my friend. Because this is the last fucking thing you're gonna get.
Kink of his to get Levi's logs. Tane also discussed other methods of drugging, and this chat put out on the 27th of September, 11 days after the initial leaks. He discussed with Snake Thing using Molly as a method of drugging someone for sexual pleasure. On the 27th of September, or around, the whole fallout from the leaks was too much for Tane, so he deleted his telegram. According to his friend, K. Fox, it was because of reasons, ... The degeneracy never ends. Another chat log section came to the surface on the 27th. Another one about Tane and Snake Thing discussing drugging someone for sexual pleasure.
I think we're still on day 6.
Underage person. One of the lesser-known discussed people in chat, Paquito Dingo, got his very own thread on Kiwi Farms for discussion on the 27th. I haven't discussed him much, but here was his introduction post on the thread. Florent, most commonly known in the furry community as Paquito Dingo or Corneille Grimond, is one of the people mentioned in the Zoo Sadom leaks. He's a French fursuiter and mersuiter who to zoophile, and it's been mentioned that he apparently has a bull-busting and pup fetish. For evidence, compare the contents of Telegram and X video spoilers in the quote below. Akito is the ex of late CP enthusiast R.C. Fox. His S-list was also put on display in this thread. The whole case on Kiro took a gigantic turn on the 28th. On this
28th,
day,
we're on
2
day 7
interviews
now.
with Kiro were posted, but we are going to talk about the first one. The first one was by a somewhat controversial
Still said
pro
nothing.
YouTuber,
It's been a
Kothrix,
week.
who released a video on this day titled The Truth About Kiro. Kothrix started out his video by discussing the background of this whole case.
On September 16th, a Twitter user by the name of Pseudonym posted a series of tweets.
Sorry,
calling out
September
several
16th.
people
We're
as zoo
fucking.
sadists. Basically, people who hurt
So it's been
animals
longer
for
than that.
personal
Sorry, I
sexual
misheard that
pleasure.
date.
The original tweet contained a link to a Telegram group, the Zoo Sadist Evidence.
So this is
which
actually, it's been
unfortunately
12
doesn't
days
exist
now
anymore.
since
He also
they
pointed out that
released.
Kiro was confirmed not to be the person in the videos he had originally been accused of.
As part of the original call-out of the Zoo Sadists, a collection of videos was released as evidence of their activities. These videos are extremely graphic and disturbing. I do not recommend watching them. Kiro has been accused of appearing in 2 of these videos. My original plan was to go into more detail on these, but I don't think it's necessary at this point. It's been pretty extensively proven that Kiro does not appear in these videos.
That is the video where Corey, aka Elite Knight, inserted into a husky, and the other being one where a man put a dead deer. But the most important aspect of this video was Kothrix spoke to Kiro directly. Kiro eventually did admit that the Telegram logs were real.
So, I confronted Kiro about this and basically told him, look, I know that these logs are real. If you keep denying that, people are eventually going to find out the truth, and this entire thing is going to start all over. And then, Kiro agreed with me and told me that yes, the logs are his.
And that he had an interest in zoophilia.
He had those conversations, and he does have an interest in some aspects of zoophilia.
Not some
Kothrix
aspects,
wanted
not
to
interest.
emphasize one important aspect of this, which was that Kiro only talked about having sex with his dog. But at this point, Kothrix did not see any evidence that it was more than just talk.
Yes, the logs are real. Now, before you pick up your torches and pitchforks, let's talk about what that actually means. Yes, Kiro does have an interest in animals sexually, and he and Snake shared with each other some graphic pictures of them. From reading the logs, we can see that. I'm not going to defend that. However, Kiro has also stated to me that he didn't actually perform any sort of sexual act with his dog or any other animal.
Well, he's a lying
And
twat,
I
isn't
believe
he?
him when he says this. Because even though he claims to have done those things in the logs, there aren't any pictures of it.
We finally got the truth out of Kiro in the conversation with Kothrix. Kiro admitted that he did talk to Snake Thing about his fantasies to have sex with animals, specifically his dog, Coda.
I think this is a very similar situation to a kind of locker room chatter. Basically, when someone sees the object of their sexual fantasy and starts talking about all the degenerate things they would do to that person, or animal in this case, but they never actually do.
The only thing that really confuses me is if he didn't have sex with Coda, and that's what he was claiming, what were those chats mentioned earlier about him feeling bad about what he did to his dog? Huh. Anyways, if anyone doubted if Kothrix's video on Kiro was true, once it was released, Kiro retweeted it, confirming that the conversation was in fact true, and that Kiro was active in that Telegram chat. Now, Kothrix's video wasn't the only one released around this date with a Kiro interview. The ever-vigilant Kiro fan, Ashley Zoe Fox, soon announced she would create a video interviewing Kiro. She wrote, Kiro the Wolf interview will go live at midnight.
Wow.
All of your
Boy, it's
questions
dropping,
will get
guys.
answered, and this can once and for all be put behind us, and people can deal with the ones that actually committed crimes. Looking at zoo-related artwork is not illegal.
Artwork,
Kiro
it's
the Wolf,
artwork now.
I stand by Kiro.
You know, did you know fisting your dog's throat is artwork?
After the Kothrix interview. In the video, Kiro denies logs being true at all.
Another question a lot of people have asked, and this is a big one that's been going across, is did you actually get hacked?
Yes.
The chat
Change the story again.
that have been passed around all over the internet now. Everybody's seen all the dirty laundry that people are saying you said. Are the chat logs real or are the chat logs fake?
Okay, so the chat logs are fake. I didn't say a lot of those things, but I will say...
Oh, no, he didn't say a lot of them. He said some of them, not a lot of them. Right?
It was for people who had an interest in feral artwork.
Despite hours before retweeting a video where he confirmed that they were true. Here is how I would sum the video up. Kiro was hacked, but some of the logs are real.
Literally everything in the chat logs
that was posted, 95% of that I did not say.
It was just locker room chat when he was talking about fucking dogs.
I've talked to Nalazar, I told him fantasies about art and different stuff like that. We just had that bro talk, per se.
Bro talk, that bro talk. Jesus. Right.
He is currently being investigated by the police.
I tell you what, give me toxic masculinity any day of the week over whatever the fuck this is.
Is there any specific update on the police investigation into the controversy?
I can't give away much, but I did give a statement, and it's currently being investigated. I am in contact with the police, and we're figuring this out.
Viewing zoophilia artwork doesn't mean anything.
And
how can zoophilia be artwork, for fuck's sake?
Artwork. That doesn't mean anything.
Due to her involvement in the fiasco, a magnifying lens got put on Ashley Zoe Fox, who then got her own thread on Kiwi Farms that same day. We find out about the people she associates with. These people that she lived with, including her husband, were all diaper-furs into cub art. We also found out Ashley's dead name, as Ashley is a trans woman. Ashley's transition is not too relevant to the story, but what was interesting was of course that all the people she associated with identified as baby furs while being full-grown adults. Also, this character in her story was the original owner of babyfur.com. Ashley also ran baby fur meetup events at Ferguson.
Baby fur.
Also, we find out that Ashley had beef with Connor Goodwolf, the man who handed the flash drive of evidence against the zoo sadists to the police. And this caused Ashley to buy ConnorGoodwolf.com and set it up to redirect to Connor's thread on Kiwi Farms. One of the people in Ashley's little group of friends is extremely important. One person named Tuscan. Tuscan was referenced in several zoo sadism logs and was brought up as a real-life cub fan and zoophile advocate. He was also on the Steam friend list of Ill-One Chevy Paws, the dead boyfriend of Kiro, who is well known on the dark web for his horrific acts on animals. Also notable is that Ashley Zoe Fox had met Shane Dawson in the past and even made a video with Shane. Some people believed she had either paid Shane to interview Kiro.
No, I'm pretty sure based on what we know about Shane now, he was pretty much comfortable with all this.
Shane to do so. Ashley immediately found her Kiwi Farms thread and tweeted about it. This beautiful woman wrote on Twitter, "Well, wonderful. The jackoffs at Kiwi Farms did an article on me and started leaking information on a bunch of my friends. A lot of the information is not correct, and they're going after my friends now, and they are referring to me as my pre-transition name. Continued. ... Then she linked her Kiwi Farms article and was not happy about being there, despite linking Connor Goodwolf's thread previously. So she was a fan of the farms. The best video on this show was posted on September 29th, 2018 by YouTuber Mythical Red Fox. This video seemed to be a direct response to the PK Russell, Kiro is innocent video.
Here's the deal.
This motherfucker has got his shit down.
Been floating around, particularly thanks to anthropomorphic spaghetti boy over here, and no one else was really making a video about it, so...
See, good clean cut guy.
In which Mythical Red Fox goes over why Kiro is most certainly not innocent. The reason I say this is the best video is because of how Fox goes over the claims of hacking. First, in the video he goes over how the ID system works on Telegram.
So one question you would have when approaching this situation is that the real Kiro in that chat? Well, every Telegram user
who would
has
pretend to be this
user
cunt?
ID number. And it doesn't matter if you change your username, doesn't matter if you change this or that, it stays the same for your account. It is unique to your account. And you can use @userinfobot on Telegram to find the ID number of any given account by forwarding a message from that account to the bot, and it will respond with the user ID number of that account. So people who had known conversations with Kiro in the past forwarded messages from their old conversations that they knew were with the real Kiro to userinfobot and got the ID. Then they took messages that were alleged to be Kiro from the chat, from the Kiro in the chat, and also forwarded them to userinfobot, and it gave back an ID. And the IDs between the account that was Kiro's in the chat that is alleged to be Kiro and the accounts that people know were actually Kiro, they matched.
He also went into detail on how Telegram servers work.
Messages on the Telegram servers are read-only variables after sending. Even if they're edited or deleted, they still exist on the server. An HTML log export is a copy of read-only variables on a Telegram
Should have done this in WhatsApp,
organized into a group of files and folders. Once they are downloaded to a PC, anybody can edit the HTML, and the timestamps will change. Timestamps, invalid message IDs, and syntax errors are what you look for to determine if a downloaded log has been tampered with. When messages are edited by the message owner on Telegram, the server updates the timestamps using the server's clock, not, I repeat, not the client device time you're using. Let me repeat that again for the people in the back. The server uses its own clock, not the client device's clock, to determine timestamps. Client devices then display that server.
See, I don't understand a word this guy's saying, but I know he's nailing them.
Interpretation of its own time settings. This is why forwarded messages are important. They are read-only variables on the server itself and not editable by anyone else.
Even going as so far as to discuss how difficult it is to hack Telegram.
Since Telegram was created by an enemy of Russian President Vladimir Putin's, it is one of the most targeted platforms in the world. Neither China, Russia, or Iran have been able to modify Telegram's
Iranian
messages
super hackers
on the server itself.
He really focuses on PK Russell in this video.
Let's go back to Go-Go commercial protagonist here, PK Russell.
He also explains how the code for emojis work.
So he was claiming that the emojis in the logs don't match the style of emoji that Telegram uses, and therefore we know that they were doctored. Except no, Sherlock Holmes, that's not what's happening. It's just that Telegram displays messages in Unicode, and then the exported logs are, as we have mentioned, in HTML, and they display emojis differently.
And goes over the photo comparisons of Kiro's dog. But he concludes that those similarities don't matter because...
This is a piece of evidence that I don't think is that relevant because we already have the Telegram logs where he admits to having sex with his dog, including throat as well as fingering puppies and expressing a desire to have sex with dead roadkill, namely fox and deer.
He also goes through Kiro publicly
expressing a desire
real-life animals and the fake police report.
The second thing I'd like to address is this fake police report that has been going around. Now,
this is fucking hilarious.
So obviously, blatantly fabricated, it's just laughable. I actually thought the person was trolling when they first shared it. I thought it was a joke. This is not how the process works. You can't just call up the cops and ask for details on an open investigation in this manner.
It was a really informative video that I would recommend myself. The man who had sexually assaulted his husky, Corey TWC, decided after being caught to post a long apology to his fur affinity. In the apology, he admits his guilt, writing, "So I never thought I'd have to make something like this, but I do. I had to go to my therapist yesterday because I basically had a mental breakdown due to all the drama going around right now surrounding me, and many other furs you might have already seen on here or heard of. And as for my therapist's idea, I'm going to stop trying to just hide and wish all this away and come out and tell my side of the story. Many of the rumors you either have heard or will hear about me have been true. I allowed myself to get into contact with some very bad people. And in my
it's their fault, innit?
of finding people who I could trust and be friends with online, I betrayed all of my own values. I went against my own beliefs, and I was manipulated into doing things I would have never done if I wasn't in the situation.
Can any of these
I
fuckers
met
take
someone
responsibility?
who at first seemed nice, friendly, a very happy, go-getter kind of person who seemed a lot better at the whole social thing than me. He comforted me, made me feel better when I was down, made me feel like I was a better person. But at the same time, he was slowly planting his seeds. It started with simple trades. I send you this, you send that kind of thing, which at first was completely harmless for the most part. Pictures that most furries could have found on Twitter or whatnot. I showed him artwork I did, ECT. Eventually, this man started leading me down a path of darker themed things, which I won't publicly discuss here, but I'm more than happy to talk about in private, because I don't believe I have anything to hide now. It's all out.
Well, not anymore, now everyone's read the fucking thing.
This dark path is something that immediately put a bad taste in my mouth. And
don't say bad taste in your mouth.
Very early red flags and signs that this wasn't going to go well for me. But it was so easy to not notice these things, to not realize the full weight of the situation when I was distracted by cutie comments and feel-good compliments that at the time.
I'm sorry. How desperate are you for for people to be nice to you? That this is where the way you're willing to go. I would I would be abused, fucking happily insulted and fucking offended by everything everyone said just to not have to sit in a chat room with these people.
Bring me. However, in it, he claims to have been manipulated into doing these sexual things.
You can't all have been manipulated. You cannot all use this excuse.
Thank you to anyone who is willing to hear my side of the story. I know I didn't go into all the full details, but as I stated, if anyone, and I mean anyone, wants to know the full details of what happened, I have no reason to lie. So I'll be open and honest about every small detail.
I think you do,
people
actually.
wish to hear. I mentioned before that there was no proof Kiro had done anything explicitly sexual with his dog Coda, except for talking about it in chat. That, however, became very obviously not true, as more information came to light. Pictures began to circulate of a picture of Coda's parts from Telegram, and they were compared to that of Kiro's livestream videos in his house. After the release of Ashley Zofox's video,
I thought they were about to say compared to his dog's
after
dick.
telling Kothrix that the logs were true, Kothrix released a response on Twitter, writing, "People are asking for proof of Kiro, saying the logs are real. I intentionally did not include screenshots of this in the video, because I wanted Kiro to be able to admit this publicly on his own terms. The fact that he retweeted my own
I'd give him a
video
nudge.
should be proof enough for now." But none of this was enough for some people. People still believed Kiro to be innocent. And people were still looking up to Kiro.
Useless,
and some people even wanted to attack No Saina, despite people being mad at No Saina for not supporting Kiro's dog fantasies. He tweeted out about the Kothrix video, writing, "Too long."
I just want to say one thing. I just want to remind everyone how this started. Like before we started watching this, the point of the conversation was that this guy Kira, after these videos were uploaded, he disappeared. That's he went off YouTube. And this guy Kira has just come back onto YouTube this week, claiming that he's innocent still. That is, that's where we are now, and we're only an hour and a half into this. There's another 2-hour second part to this fucking, and I'm not going to play that tonight. You can watch that on your own time. But this guy has had the fucking nerve to come. Can you imagine? Now, obviously you can't imagine, because none of you would fucking do anything this depraved, I would hope, But imagine this gets fucking leaked, and then you have the nerve to come back to YouTube. That's it. That's this cunt. And of course, the fucking ratings on his video were fucking turned off. The fucking comments were being censored, because obviously he doesn't want people. His goal. The last thing he wants is people watching this, because it's quite obvious that a lot of his fucking fanbase are not fully aware of this. No, well, you shouldn't be able to imagine it, mate. That's because you're a fucking well-adjusted, normal human. Vaguely normal, anyway. Well, you're not. You're normal compared to these fucking... You're an amateur monk compared to these fucking... Anyway, do you know what? I'm going to call it a night, folks. It's been real. And, I think, yeah. And, I'm going to go and get on with other shit. And thanks for all popping by. I will see y'all. I'll see you on the flip side. Wherever the fuck that is. Say goodbye. What's happening? I'm ending the show, Ben. Yeah. You just missed us watching one of, possibly the most disturbing and fucking vomit-inducing 80 minutes of YouTube video ever. And there's 2 hours more to go. You know you're going to watch it, and I'm going to let you do that in your own time. And next live stream, we can all discuss it.